All right. I am incredibly late, I know, but I just woke up. We had bad storms last night. Yeah, I just woke up. All right. So let's get everything going here. Let's see. He's Tony to watch. Doesn't look like anything is happening so far. And so shit is actually already starting. Calm the fuck down. All right. Where we at here? Let's see what's going on. Told y'all. Since it ain't happening to DC, it was freed up everywhere else.
You like that? Our streets! Our streets! Make sure you block him. Make sure he remembers trans lives matter. You want to talk?
So I guarantee you we're gonna find some dumb shit all day today. Group behind Trans Day of Vengeance raise money for gun training. Yeah, we already know that. Um, TRAs have shut down Hollywood and Highland as part of their Trans Day of Vengeance rally.
Continue, and it will gather speed.
Go back up straight to the top here. Yeah, these crazy little motherfuckers right here.
Trans people, you ready to fight? I know I am. Seems the Orange Cheeto has made his royal decree. So
Ugh.
I say I shall make mine.
Way too
My
late for that.
royal decree is that we all gather a protection spell for ourselves.
I mean,
This
who the fuck are you in
protection
the
spell
first place?
consists of a GoFundMe page where we can create plenty of resources for us to cast our spells of protection. We may not be able to have a firearm, but crossbows, very efficient, very sniper-like, and accessible. So is magical from their weapons. Protection. If you're interested in starting a GoFundMe to create a resistance, join me. The resistance is here. I heard these kids talk about a new
So this
movement.
bitch is actually trying to make money
I
off
love
of it.
trans babies. I love my kids. You know, your parents may not accept you, but I accept you. And in the kingdom of darkness, all are welcomed. So I say, is
Oh.
my royal decree.
Kingdom of Darkness, huh?
We band together. Parents, protect your kids. Get them out of this country. We will
Please do.
converge and protect your exit.
Get the fuck
We will
out of
make
the
sure
country.
you make it out to the best of our abilities, even if it means laying down existences. For me, get those kids out of here, okay? Because things are about to
laying
get very
down
messy.
existences. So
Trans people who can fight, who can
that's a death
resist
threat.
and want to resist.
It's a call to
Stop
violence.
arguing with transphobes about your identity. It's a distraction. Stop talking about J.K. Rowling or all this basic stuff. It's a distraction. Your focus now is creating
She's
a
holding a
countermeasure
fucking curtain
of
rod.
protection. Our goal now is banding together to resist.
This bitch is holding a curtain rod, making death threats, and calls to violence. Yet, Duchess of Darkness hasn't been arrested yet.
Any infighting shall be ignored. If any trans person wishes to adhere to the system that has obviously damned us, you will be damned. You will not have bigotry accepted at the table. Now it's time for trans liberation.
In
Now
other
it's
words,
time for the trans resistance.
If you don't adhere to what I think and how I can do this, you're not trans. That's what she just said.
Send me a friend request. Comment down below. Let's start a GoFundMe. Let's start the resistance. Let's protect
How about you
ourselves
blow
from
your
these
nose
monsters. Italamo and Ferro, pro anibus omnibus consumi. I took away his ability to have kids. I cursed the fuck out of him. And then, as we were outside of the bar, he then comes out, follows us outside of the bar, and is then like, oh, freak. You're a freak. Starts saying all this transphobic stuff, talking about how I can't wear sweatpants.
Hold up. He's talking about, oh, you're a freak. Didn't fucking happen. You just made that shit up on the fly. Lie. Straight up fucking lie. None of this ever happened. This dude is delusional. Open up insane asylums yet the fuck again. Lock them all the fuck up.
Pants because he can somehow see my bulge and shit like that. When, by the way, I'm tucked, so the girls are tucked behind, okay? So there is no bulge. He's like fabricating an image that's not even there.
No, he's not fabricating an image that's not even there. You dumb son of a bitch. You just admitted you got a dick and balls between your legs.
I got so fucking tired of him calling me a freak. I didn't give it a second. I was just like... He
Picking your phone?
flew back into the fucking door. He
No, he
flew
didn't.
back into the door. He was like, oh.
No, he
Like,
didn't.
back
you
into the
dumbass.
door. He's like,
You
come on,
lie.
bitch. Oh, bitch. Come here, bitch. I'm calling the police. I run away, like literally Naruto running. I'm like, later. And I got away. And I was able to get like a taxi. Me and my friend, me and my bodyguard, we got away in time.
None of this happened.
Nigga, I kicked a transphobe's ass last night and got away with it. So if any of you guys got your transphobia,
None of this happened.
I'm ready. Trans girls, we're fighting, okay? I'm done. I'm not a man, and you won't force me to be one.
Fuck is happening with people?
Start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me, and I suggest you do the same. Start organizing a rally for resistance, not for talk. I don't care if I got shot. I'm taking a couple of transphobes with me, and I suggest you do the same. Trans people, do not call the police. Trans people in all 50 states, I propose an idea. Let's create a privatized trans resistance in each of our states. Think of it more like a neighborhood watch. When transphobia and attacks are running amok, you create your resistance. You call your resistance, and we'll arrive there as fast as we fucking can because we know the police won't.
Is happening
We'll
to
arrive
people?
way quicker. Call your resistance. It's
See,
time
this
we
is what-
find our privatized belief.
Shut the fuck up. This is what happens when the media tries to say there's a trans genocide for fucking years. Then you got the Nashville incident that happens, and all these people saying this shit. Yeah. Okay. There has not been a trans person that has ever been attacked yet, but yet they have killed people. What 4 or 5 mass shootings from trans people already? 3 victims were kids, 9-year-old kids that never even had a chance to make a choice or do anything with their lives. And you're going to sit here and tell me that this isn't a fucking problem?
It was just last week that we noticed that parts of the transgender movement seem to be getting militant and possibly dangerous. We did a whole segment about it on Thursday night. That segment was sparred by an NPR segment we had heard and never expected to hear. NPR is always, as a matter of editorial policy, completely opposed to civilian ownership of firearms, with the possible exception of maybe IRS agents. Yet here suddenly was that very same station, National Public Radio, positively urging trans people to buy guns, as many guns as possible, and if necessary, to use them. The world is dangerous, explained one trans gun owner. You have to be dangerous back. And that seems strange to us. Is the United States really a dangerous place for trans people? Well, West Baltimore is dangerous. You could easily get murdered there. But if you're trans in this country, obviously there are many downsides, but there do appear to be some benefits. It's a lot easier to get into Harvard, for example. It's definitely easier to get a job at Citibank or in the Biden White House.
Yeah.
If you're transgender can so much as fly a kite, the Pentagon will happily make you an F-35 pilot just so Hollywood can make a movie about it. Identifying as trans, whatever, again, its downsides, does convey status in this country, which is why so many young people now do. Not a lot of 19-year-olds are pretending to be car mechanics or linemen for a regional power company in Eastern Ohio. But plenty of college freshmen do pretend to be members of the opposite sex. And why wouldn't they? The people in charge despise working class whites, but they venerate the trans community. People are just responding to incentives. It's rational in a way. But that does not explain the anger that we heard in that NPR segment. Why are some trans people so angry? And why do they seem to?
Well, that's because the news has told them everything. They told them, oh, they're trying to kill you. They're trying to kill you.
Due to the astronomical amounts of hate from around the world. This was a rally that was being held across the United States and had one scheduled for Nashville, Tennessee, I think for April 1st. Nashville, Tennessee, where just this last Monday, a transgender person broke into a church and shot and killed 6 people. Now, initially, they had come out and said that they were going to host the rally anyway, and were posting pictures such as these in solidarity. And this was the official logo and t-shirts that everybody was getting. Probably a wise decision to cancel it, because hell hath no fury like the American parent. Fires that were only stoked by members of our political spectrum, our administration.
That just freed them up to go.
And our hearts go out
places other
to
than DC.
the trans community as they are under attack right now.
And of course, Hollywood had to get involved because they always do. This was not a good look for this community, and the community did nothing to try and alleviate the division between them and pretty much everybody else. Also, if you're out here and you're thinking that your voice doesn't matter, it does. Don't mess with our kids. It's that easy.
Yes, it is that easy, but that was March 30th, 20 hours ago.
No, I love him. I'll give my life for him because Donald Trump already knows I love him. I'll give my life for him because he would give his life for us. Because you know how we know? Because he is. That's right. He's doing it right now. I don't ask for nothing. You can't pay me. You can't do nothing. I'm already rich. That's right. They don't owe me nothing. Nobody can give me nothing. I'm here to defend and protect him because he's standing in front for us.
That has nothing to do with this. This is Hollywood.
Let's get those microphones. If you want to be a part of a megaphone, or individual right next to
And that was a couple of days ago. Protesters shutting down the road. That's still in Los Angeles. Again in Los Angeles. Let's see. MAGA Day of Vengeance. Okay. This looks familiar. Hold on.
I'ma need 6 summers in your check. You acting pretty foul, man, call the tech.
Okay. This is March 30th. So this bitch brought in an axe? Hmm. Yeah. Of course it's gonna stop. Are you? Yeah, my account has been suspended. What about it? Uh-huh. Where was that? Mail online. That was a few days ago then, I guess.
This isn't the best time for this protest.
Yeah, Trans Day of Vengeance protest to hit Washington in wake of Nashville shooting. This is organized by the Trans Radical Activist Network. And this poster that's been getting banned off Twitter.
Yeah, this was Nashville, right? Yeah, Tennessee State Capitol. All this because somebody wanted to shoot at. All of this because somebody wanted to shoot little fucking kids. Yes, baby, that was an axe. And she hit people, 2 people with it.
Other one,
yeah,
like the Trans Resistance something network or whatever.
Trans Radical Activist Network.
Yeah, like I don't even know if these things exist. Like I see a lot of, like I know Fox News,
I think I had a few thousand followers.
Yeah, it had like, well, on Twitter, like that.
But they're the ones organizing the event in DC tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm curious how many people are going to even show up to that. Because I looked at that page and it's like a WordPress page with like 2 links.
But that's what it always is.
And the Twitter page has like 300 followers.
And you'll
with no names attached.
You'll get a few hundred.
Huh. You wonder how many people's going to fall. Oh my God. That dude's smart as shit, but he can be dumb. I actually do listen to Destiny, but there are a lot of times where he can be dumb as fuck.
With the event, this is not going to be easy, but I'm going to try to keep this as succinct as possible. Due to the new details unfolding with the event that happened in Nashville today, allies, we need to be going out of our way to defend and protect trans people as much as possible. It is statistically
That fucking bitch shot 3 9-year-old children. And you need to defend her? Open the insane asylums.
Mr. President.
Senator from Wisconsin.
Mr. President, last December, the World Health Assembly established an intergovernmental negotiating body to draft a new convention on pandemic prevention and preparedness. At its 4th meeting last month, the negotiating body accepted a draft of this new convention that would give the World Health Organization broad new powers in managing future pandemics. If accepted, it would
That's a
cement
different story altogether. Are y'all tired of the stupidity yet?
single person to get this. We will not be another statistic.
See, here's the thing, Tim. It's just their allies. It's the crazy motherfuckers. It's not real trans people that, well, the shooters are being a problem, yes, but these are not trans people sitting here. They're the fucking white liberal bitches that are out there doing this shit, that start all this, that cause these problems. It's most of it's not even trans people, man. It's the insane that are doing this.
Former student at the school. I don't know what grade she's attended or grades, but we do firmly believe she was a student there.
Have been radicalized because the news keeps telling them trans people are under attack, trans people are being genocided, and they never have. They never have. Now we've had 4 or 5 school shootings. Why schools? I don't know. From trans people. You realize there's 14, 15 school shootings this year? And I'm not talking about college. If you bring up college into it, this year alone, there's 17, 18 last time I counted. And most of them, well, I'm not going to say most, a good portion of them have been from trans people attacking kids, the kids you say you're trying to save. I mean, if you can't kill them in the womb and they're born, you try to cut off their genitalia. If you can't cut off the genitalia, then you straight up in their lives. But yet you're supposed to be protecting kids? The fuck, man? Human Events Daily, Jack Personificus Joan by Millennial. That's a whole episode.
Hi, my name is Chad Scruggs, and I am a new pastor here at Covenant Pres. My family and I are delighted to be in the Nashville area. I grew up just north of here in Hendersonville, Tennessee. My wife grew up in West Tennessee, in Jackson, but many of our friends and a lot of our family are back here in Middle Tennessee, and so we're thrilled to be here. We have 4 kids.
Y'all picked the wrong area to do this
young
shit.
Kids.
You really
John
did.
Randall is 11 years old. Charlie is 9. Carter is 7, and Hallie is 5. And just thrilled to be here and to see what the Lord has for us and for this church family in the years to come.
No. Y'all picked the wrong fucking area for this shit. You really did, because here in the South, we don't play that shit. It's not going to be a thing around here. I swear. You're going to cause a lot of fucking issues where issues never were. And people are going to get hurt.
Kids? What? Stop trans genocide. Where has there been trans genocide?
Ever.
Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. This is unbelievable. Can you imagine if we called it Mega Day of Vengeance?
But a lot of the times, if you look at these people, seriously, they do and say some crazy shit like this. That's not a trans person. It's just a crazy white bitch just sticking up for the community. First of all, who walks into a convenience store with an axe, number one, and doesn't raise an alarm? Both of them. Both of them get attacked. It's the allies that are the fucking problem. Now they do and say some crazy shit, but it radicalizes the street crazies to act this way in their favor. That's still in Hollywood. Tucker Carlson calls out for wait. 2 minutes ago from Savannah, one person showed up. Dev, I think you wasted your time there. Then you should have been in Hollywood.
Suspended Green's personal account. The company said it uses a strike system and that the Republican representative had received her 5th strike. The social network company has permanently...
I love this shit. If y'all look into this, like she retweeted that little poster of Trans Day of Vengeance, and she got her account shut down. Now, if you look into the news, they sit there and literally try to say that since her account was suspended, that she's trying to stoke hate against trans people, when all that thing is, hey, y'all need to watch out for this. This is a problem. Why is this actually in existence? Why is this a thing? That was pretty much what it is. And then every news article that I've seen about this is just like, oh, well, she's trying to stoke hate. She got her account suspended because she's trying to stoke fear and violence in for the trans community. Y'all, if y'all don't see how the news fucks shit up now, I don't know what to tell you.
Will be the Trans Day of Vengeance to stop the trans genocide, allegedly. What is the trans genocide? A hallucination of people who don't have a very good grip on reality. What is the trans genocide, quote unquote? The trans genocide is a fable made up by disturbed people to justify violence against conservatives and Christians and normal people who understand that men and women are different and don't think that we should let men enter into the women's locker room and strip down naked. So the Trans Day of Vengeance is supposed to take place in Washington, D.C., though some of the people who are supporting this have suggested that the Trans Day of Vengeance take...
Do y'all remember when okay, they've always been attacking straight white males, but do y'all remember when they'd say that straight white males would rape women? Now they're letting these straight white males who figure, hey, I can just claim I'm a woman and have access to you when you're most vulnerable. And that's supposedly somehow okay now. Huh? They've created the patriarchy that they say they're fighting, and it's fucking... God. I don't get it. I don't get that, but whatever.
And thank goodness we left DC, because April 1st, which is Saturday, there is a planned event called the Trans Day of Vengeance. What does that sound like? It doesn't sound good to me. I've never seen a Trump rally named something like that with vengeance. No. We just wanted to stand for election integrity, right? So I don't know how Democrats are sitting on debate stages anymore.
For the Federalist and Fox News contributor,
March 27th, 29th, 31.
The online, particularly the LGBT community, is cancerous as fuck. If you're not an idiot, you will agree with me on this. The left community online, particularly the LGBT community, is cancerous as fuck. If you're not an idiot, you will agree with me on this. If you have any fucking experience with online like LGBT or leftist discourse, you know it's cancerous as fuck. You understand this. People are hyper fragile. There's a ton of mental illness. And
motherfucker, it wasn't that long ago you were advocating for this shit.
And you can't convert these people. They're not reasonable. They have to be excised from the left. And it's because it's coming from dumb fucks who are gay. This person says they're gay as hell? Because it's coming from the gays. It's woke now. These people are less than human to me. I have no respect for these people. These people are fucking disgusting. You don't need to be a psychologist to see that a large portion of the broader fucking like woke-tard cancel culture idpo left is predicated on shared mental illness. This is particularly prominent in the trans community. If you disagree with me on this, you're wrong. I know it sounds yikesy. It happens anyway. Pretty much every time I deal with dipshits from the left that's trans girls, that I notice there's a vastly disproportionate amount of dumb
dipshits from the left. I mean, you're part of them. You don't understand half of what's happening, but yet you speak about these things. Dude can be smart when he knows what he's talking about, but that's very rare in between. He just listens to one news cycle that tells him the way things are, and that's it. This motherfucker. I like this. Me new. No. Yeah, I remember this. See, there have been some shootings, but that's all you get. Every other attack and everything that we've ever seen is from just their allies.
Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Uh-oh.
Last podcast news, trying to make up some shit. All right, so we're going to give it a minute. While we're doing that, I have been noticing something very, very, very odd. Let me bring this up. Where is it? New window. Okay. So I've been listening to this this little talk here from the. Let me move this over here. Been listening to this TikTok committee hearing. It's like 5.5 hours long. Every single, damn near every single person that asked questions in this so far has asked questions that has related to this Restrict Act here. This is Senate Bill 686, and this is fucking disturbing. We will be going over some of these points later tonight on the Off Label podcast with me and Ashley. But this is disturbing as shit, and y'all need to pay attention to this because, yeah, damn, I forgot the markers. Let's see, this committee hearings.
And continue to be under the aegis of the Communist Party through your you know.
This is are able to get or limited for kids under.
Committee in Congress needs to take action immediately.
The phone you use, the car you.
So in examining TikTok breaking away from ByteDance.
I'm gonna turn that down
I'd like
a little
to
bit.
ask
Well, that
you
plays.
some questions
Look,
about
all right,
that
short title.
and
This
how,
act may be cited as a restricting emergency as security threats that risk information and communications technology act, or the Restrict Act.
terms of the
They came up with
relationship with
restrict and then
ByteDance,
came up with the
how,
title to reflect that.
user data.
The motherfuckers just need to stop.
American
Now,
users'
this is not the
data
TikTok
would
ban
be
bill. Okay,
protected.
this is something
Now, under
that was
Beijing's
pushed in
security
under
laws,
the guise of being the TikTok ban
Article
bill.
7
This is the
compels
same bill that
companies to
was
provide data.
co-signed by a whole bunch of people
Article
who have now
10,
shown that they don't even know what the fuck
makes
is in
the
this
reach of the law
classified national
extraterritorial.
security
Now,
information.
this is very
Term
clear. I don't
classified
need to
national
read all
security
of it
information means
into
information
the
that has been
record,
determined pursuant
but
to the Executive
those
Order
are the laws
13526
of
found
the
there.
PRC.
More
How does
related to the classified national
ByteDance,
security information or any predecessor
how
or
does
successor
TikTok,
order
rather,
to require
how do you
protection against
convince
unauthorized disclosure is
the
marked to
Congress
indicate
of the
such
United
classified
States
status in
that there can be
documentary
a
form.
clean break?
Okay.
Why would the Chinese
Classified national
government
security information being
sidestep
released, that's a bad
their
thing. Let me ask you
national
something. Why
law,
is that only done
including
in
Article
one
7,
fucking section?
Article
Why does
10,
the Washington Post
in terms of
get
user
leaks
data?
from classified areas a lot, huh?
Congressman, thank you for the question.
Why
I'm
does that
glad
happen?
You asked this. As I said in the
The
opening
term
statement, our
controlling
plan
holding
is to
means
move American
holding
data to be
means a
stored on
holding with the
American
power,
soil
whether
I
by the
direct or
American
understand that.
company.
I understand that, but you're sidestepping, or I haven't read anything
whether direct or
in terms
indirect,
of
and whether
TikTok,
exercised or
how
not
you can
exercised,
actually
to
say,
determine
and
direct
you
or
spoke in your
to
opening
decide
statement
important matters
about a
affecting the
firewall
entity.
relative to the data.
Okay. Controlling
But
holding
the
means
Chinese
holding
government
with the
has
power,
that
whether
data.
direct or
Well,
indirect, and
how
whether
can you
exercised or
promise
not.
that
So if you have
that
any kind
will
of control or
move
you have any kind of
into
power as far as
into
that
the
goes
United
in
States
any
of
way, shape,
America
or
can be
form,
protected here?
this
Congressman, I
affects
have
you.
seen no evidence
Okay.
that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know
Every
what?
I've
I
asked
holding,
that
I find that
regardless
actually
of how or
preposterous.
when such
I have
holding
I
was
looked in.
or
I have
will
seen
be
no evidence
obtained
of this
or
happening.
otherwise
And
come
in
to
order
have
to
been
assure
held, a
everybody here
controlling
and all our
holding
users,
held directly
our
or
commitment
indirectly
is to move the data
in an
into the
ICTS
United
covered by
States to be
holding
stored on
entity by
American
a
soil
foreign
by an
adversary,
American
an
company,
entity
overseen by
subject to
American
the
personnel. So
jurisdiction
the
of
risk
or
will be
organized under
similar
the laws
to
of
any
a foreign
government going to an
adversary
American company asking
or
for data.
any entity owned,
If that
directed, or controlled by any
Well, I'm
by an
one that
entity described
doesn't
in
believe that there
subparagraphs
is
1
really
or
a
2.
private sector
Okay.
in China.
So if
And
there is
when you look
anything
at their
overseas
national
that is
law
not
and what
a NATO
specifically
country,
these two articles,
this is what
Article
this is
7 and
supposed to be
Article 10,
targeting.
are very clear. So
With the
I
Patriot
think
Act,
that there
we know
is
that
a
that's
real
not what
problem,
they
a
say
real
it is. They put
problem
it in there. Oh,
relative
this
to
is what
our
it's
national
for,
security
but it's never used for
about
that. The Patriot Act was supposed to look for terrorists in this
the user
country.
data.
Yet
I
what
don't
did they
believe
do
that
with it?
TikTok
They turned it
has,
and spied on
you have
American
said
citizens,
or done
left, right, and
anything to
center.
convince
They
us
used it on
that
American citizens because, well,
information, the
you're a
personal
domestic
information of
terrorist if you don't go along
150
with the government
million
now.
Americans, that the Chinese government is not going to give that
And
up.
if you're
So
on
Congressman,
can you
TikTok
tell me?
or
Can you tell
any
me
other
who
platform
writes
that is
the
not government run
algorithms
or
for
controlled by
TikTok?
this point, and I say
today,
that because
the
look what
algorithm that
came up
powers the
with
US user
Facebook, Twitter,
experience
YouTube,
is
all these
running in
other
the
things where they're
Oracle
trying
Cloud
to take
infrastructure.
down real information,
Yes,
calling it
in
misinformation.
initially there were parts of the source code,
They
especially
can't
the
do that with
infrastructure layer,
TikTok.
that
So why
doesn't
the fuck do
touch
you think they really
the
want
user
TikTok banned?
experience. Now that's a collaborative
It
global
is a
effort, including
shithole. It
built
is
by
a
engineers in China, just like many other companies, by the way.
social
The phone you use, the
disease.
car you drive is a global
It does
collaborative effort.
affect people
Now,
mentally,
but today, the
but the
business
political
sites
side
and the
of
main parts
TikTok
of the code for
is
TikTok
sharing the
is
real
written by
information. They're
TikTok
getting it
employees.
out there. People are
And
understanding through TikTok
Congressman,
themselves, and they
what
can't
we are
control
offering
that.
is third-party
What the whole damn thing's
monitoring of our
about.
source code. I am not aware of any company, American companies or otherwise, that has actually done that. Because we are saying we want to give you transparency and rely on third
The
parties
term
to
covered
make sure that we get all
transaction
the comfort that we need
means a
about the experience.
transaction in which
All
an
right,
entity
my time
described
is
in
up, and I yield
subparagraph
back.
B
Thank
has
you.
any interest, including through an interest in a contract
yields back.
for the provision of
Pleased to yield
technology or
to
services
gentleman
or
from
any
Ohio, Mr. Latta,
class
for 5
such
minutes.
such
Thank you, Madam
transaction.
Chair.
Covered
Unlike
entities.
the Chinese Communist
These
Party,
entities
the
described
United States
in the
believes
subparagraph
in individual
are a
freedom,
foreign adversary,
innovation,
and
and
entities such
entrepreneurship.
of the jurisdiction or under
That is in part
organized
why
under the
Congress
laws
enacted
of
Section
any foreign
230
adversary
of the
and
Communications
any
Decency Act.
entity owned,
Our goal is to
directed,
promote
or
growth
controlled by a person
of the
described in
online
subparagraph
ecosystem in the
AB.
United
Okay,
States
so
and
here's
to
the thing.
protect companies
We are moving
from
to a
being held
digital
liable
dollar
for good faith
because
efforts to
of
moderate their platforms.
that that
Last
bill,
year, a federal
the
judge in
executive order
Pennsylvania found
14067
that
that
Section
puts us on a
230
digital
protected
dollar, or that
TikTok
puts us on a
from
digital
being held
currency
responsible for the
controlled by
death
the
of a
United
10-year-old
States.
girl
And if you don't play
who
ball,
participated
you
in
are
a
a threat to
blackout
U.S.
challenge,
interest. Okay.
also known as the
So,
choking challenge.
a foreign
TikTok
adversary.
actively pushes video on her feed.
Well, if you don't play ball with us, if you don't,
Unfortunately, this is one of the many
if you don't
devastating
follow
examples
with
of
what
children
we
losing their
want,
lives
you
because
are
of
an adversary.
content
You are a
promoted by
threat to U.S.
TikTok.
interest. So a
Section
foreign
230
adversary
was never
could be
intended
anything. If you
to
don't play
shield
ball with
companies
them,
like
you do
yours from
something like
amplifying
the
dangerous
parallel
and
economy
life-threatening
instead
content
of
to children.
PayPal
Do you
or
consider
something like
this to
that.
be
You
a good
use
faith
a
moderation?
different kind of
Congressman, as a
transactional
father
service.
myself, when I hear about the tragic
You are
deaths
now a
of
My
foreign
question
people,
adversary,
it's
you
heartbreaking.
or
find
in
that
line
good
with
faith
foreign
moderation?
adversaries.
Well, Congressman, Section 230 is a
If you
very
take
complex
money
issue.
you know,
as payment
yes or
for
no?
something
I,
that
we are
comes
very
from
focused on safety.
a country
and
that
all
Okay,
these
I'm
dangerous
gonna have to
deems
challenges
a
assume
are
that
foreign
is a
remove
no.
and
adversary,
find them.
guess what?
Do you believe
They can
TikTok
take your shit.
deserves this liability protection?
They can stop the
I'm sorry,
transaction. They
Congressman.
Do you
can
believe
they
that
can
TikTok
take the
deserves this
transaction and they can blame
liability
you
protection under Section
for
230?
being a
Congressman,
threat
as
to
you
U.S.
pointed out,
interests.
230 has been very important for freedom of expression on the internet. It's one of the
Critical
commitments we have
infrastructure
given to this
has a
committee and our
meaning given
users.
to a
And
term in Section
I do
106
think it's
of the
important to
U.S.
preserve that. A
Patriot
company should
Act.
be
There
raising
we
the bar
go.
on safety.
Let
Yes,
me
I
follow
There's
up.
the
really agree
connection.
Let me
with
just
that.
follow up real quickly from your own testimony. When you told us and you repeated it,
The term
we'll keep
entity means
safety,
any of the following,
particularly
which
for
is
teenagers, a top
established in
priority
the
for
United
us.
States with
And you're
outside
saying
of
you're
the
making
United
that following
States. Firm,
commitment. Why did you have to
government,
wait till now
government
to make that
agency,
following
government
commitment
department,
now and not
government
having done it
conditions,
before
labor
when this
union,
10-year-old lost her
fraternal,
life?
social organization, a partnership,
Congressman,
a
I'm
trust, a joint
reiterating the
venture, a
commitment.
corporation, a group,
Internally, in all
subgroup, or
my
other
my
association,
priorities, which is published
organization,
by
Okay,
employees,
whether or
this
not
safety has always
organized
been a
for
is
priority.
profit.
this company is a picture-perfect
Basically,
example of
anything
why
they
this
deem as
committee
a
and
threat
Congress
is a
needs to
threat.
take action immediately
Doesn't
to
even
amend
have to
Section
be. They
230.
just can say, you're a threat to
When we
U.S.
recently
interests
met,
because
I asked you
you're
if the
not playing
Chinese
ball
Communist
with
Party
us.
can currently access user data, and you did
A
not have a
fraternal
clear
or
answer. So
social
today I want to follow up.
organization?
You heard it a little bit, but I want to be absolutely sure of this answer.
The
Are
fuck?
employees of ByteDance subject to
A
Chinese
partnership,
law,
a trust,
including
a
the
joint venture, a
2017 National
corporation.
Intelligence Law, which
Because
requires
of this,
any
they get to take
organization
ownership
or
or
citizen
just
to support, assist,
cancel it
and
altogether
cooperate
to make sure
with
that they
state
can't do
intelligence
business
work in accordance with the law.
because they don't play ball.
Like many companies, including many American companies, we rely on a global workforce, including engineers in
Here's where it
China.
gets fun.
but
So
no,
foreign
yes, no.
adversary. The term
So
foreign
in the past,
adversary
yes.
means
I'm
In the
sorry.
any
past, yes.
foreign government or
Yes,
regime
but
determined
we are
by the
building project
secretary
Texas, and we're
pursuant to
committing the
sections
firewall
3
of
and
all
5 to have
protected data.
engaged in
Taking that-
I want
long-term
the foreign
patterns of
Taking that as a
serious
yes, because
instances
again, of your
conduct
Article 7, the
specifically
Article 7 of the 2017 National
significantly
Intelligence
adverse
Law,
to the
which I
national
just said.
security of the
As it
United
says, in
States or
addition,
the
as
security
was
and
asked a
safety
little
of the
bit earlier,
United States
the
person
2014
and
Counterintelligence
includes,
Espionage
unless
Law
removed
states
by
that when the
secretary
state
pursuant to
security
section
organ
6,
investigates
the
and
People's
understands the
Republic of
situation
China,
of
including
espionage
Hong Kong
and collects
Special
relevant
Administrative
evidence, the relevant
Region
organizations
and
and
Mako
individuals. It
Special
does not say
Administrative
may,
Region,
it says shall
Republic
provide
of
it
Cuba,
truthfully and may
Islamic
not
Republic of
refuse.
Iran, the Democratic People's
Yes or no?
Republic of Korea,
Do
the
any
Russian
ByteDance
Federation, and the
employees in
Bolivarian
China,
Republic
including
of
engineers,
Venezuela,
currently have
origin
access to
speaker
U.S. user data?
Nicholas Maduro Morris.
Today,
Okay.
all U.S.
So
user
they're
data
trying
is
to
stored
say
by
that
default
it's
in the
just
Oracle
these
cloud
people, but
infrastructure,
anybody
and
that has
access to
anything
that
to
is
do with
controlled
these people
Any
is now a threat
ByteDance
too.
ByteDance employees in China,
Anything
including
that
engineers,
comes out of
currently have access
Republic,
to
Iran,
U.S. data.
Korea, if you come out of
Congressman,
there
I would
yourself, or
appreciate
if you talk
this.
to
This is a
people, you are
complex
now a threat to
topic.
U.S. interests.
Today, all data
Yes,
is stored
yes or
by
no?
Don't
That's
get it
not that
twisted. That's
complex.
what it means.
Yes or no?
You can sit there and
do
say,
they
"Oh,
have
well, they're just
access to
targeting
user
these."
data?
You dumb son of a
We
bitch!
have,
No.
after Project Texas is done.
Patriot
the
Act
answer
was
is no.
supposed to actually
Today,
target
there's
people
still
that
some
were
data
trying
that
to
we
come
need
in
to
here
sleep
and
but we've heard
from
already from
Virginia
the
and
ranking member that
commit
he doesn't,
acts of
and
terrorism.
that he doesn't really see that
Yet, how
Project
did that
Texas is
turn
gonna be
out?
useful. So
They
I
were
think I'm taking
spying
that
on
as a no, because
American
again,
citizens who just
the
had a
question is
run-in
what
with
came
somebody that
come
they
up
wanted
earlier,
to
or that on
deem
December
a
the
threat.
22nd of last year, when ByteDance
And they started
confirmed
tapping
some of
people's
its
phones.
Chinese
They started
employees had
recording people,
access
using their
TikTok
devices
data
to record them
monitor
on
and track,
a daily
monitor and
basis.
track track the
to
physical
track
location
these
of
people
journals.
that just had maybe
So I
said
took
hi
that
in
as a yes
passing.
from an earlier answer. You know, earlier this week, you posted a TikTok video asking American
Holdings
users
means
to
an equity
mobilize in
interest, a
support
stock, a
of your
security,
app
a
and
share, a
oppose
partnership
the
interest, an
potential U.S.
interest in
government
a
action to ban
limited
TikTok
liability
in the United
company, a
States.
membership interest,
Based on
or
the
any
established
participation,
relationship
right,
between
or
your
other
company and the
equivalent,
Chinese
however
Communist Party,
designed of
it's
any
impossible for
character,
me to
and includes
conclude
without
that the
limitation
video
any
is
security
anything different than
convertible
the type of
into
propaganda
an
that
ownership
CCP
interest and right,
requires
warrant,
Chinese
or
companies to push on its
option to
citizens
acquire
behind their back.
ownership interests.
Yields
So
back.
basically,
Chair
if you
recognizes the
try to
lady
buy
from
something
Colorado
from
Ms. DeGette for
somebody,
5 minutes.
say
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
an apple,
Mr.
you want
Chu,
an apple from
like
somebody
my
that they deem as
colleagues,
a
I'm
threat to U.S.
concerned
interest. Now you're a threat
about
to
the
U.S. interest
influence of
because
China on
you
TikTok and what that
engaged
does for
in
U.S. users. But
where
I'm
is it?
also concerned
You
about
engaged
how
into
the
ownership
content
interest
in
and right,
TikTok is
warrant, or
being
option to
distributed,
acquire ownership
particularly
interest.
to young people. This is not a problem unique to
Yeah.
TikTok.
That's how they can
TikTok
twist
has
that.
150 million
Oh, you just
users
bought
in
an
the
Apple.
United States.
Not like you were trying to
And
buy a
so
company. It's
I
not like
think
you were
you'll
trying to
agree
buy
that
anything
TikTok
of
has a
actual
particular
real
responsibility
monetary
to
value.
monitor content to make sure that it's
But it
safe
doesn't
and
make that
accurate. Would that be
distinction.
fair to say?
And if it
Yes,
doesn't
I
make
agree
that
with that.
distinction,
So,
well, there you go.
you know, I know you said in your opening statement there's a ban for or limited for kids under 13
ICTS
and
cover
under
holding
18 and so
an
on.
entity
But
that owns, controls, or manages
I know it won't be
information and
news for
communications
you
technologies,
that
products, or service, and
computer
has
savvy
not
kids
less
actually
than
can
1 million
bypass
United
some of
States
those restrictions
based
quite
annual active
frequently,
users
and
at any
they
point
can
during the
do it
period
even
preceding to
if
the
they
date
have
which is
parental
covered in the
oversight.
holdings referred
And
to
so what I
President
want to
or
ask
for
you
which more
is,
than 1 million
rather than
units
putting the
have been
burden
sold to
on
persons in the
young
United
people
States
and
before the date
parents
of covering.
to
So
accurately put in the
basically,
birth date and
if it's
so
not
on when
made in the
registering for
United States of
TikTok,
America
I want to ask you what
and 1
TikTok can
million
do
units of
to make sure
whatever,
to monitor this
they get to
content.
monitor,
And I
they
want
get
to give you
access, they have
some
full rights
examples
and
of some
control
of the
to.
extreme content. Mr. Latta talked about the blackout challenge and
Cell
some
phones,
of the
which are always
dangers
been
to young
questionable,
people's
your
safety.
computers,
But there's
always been
also
questionable.
extreme content
Your
around
car.
healthcare information.
How
In
many?
one
I'm sure
study,
there's 1
13
million
out
fucking
of 20
people that
results
own Kias.
for the question,
I'm
does
sure there's
mugwort
1 million
induce
fucking people that own
abortion?
Hyundai,
It talked about
Ferrari.
herbal so-called abortifacients like
Really?
papaya seeds, which don't work. And so if people searching for information on safe abortions went on TikTok, they could get
Information and communication technology,
devastatingly
product services.
incorrect
The term information
information.
and communication.
Another
Technology, products,
another
or
study
services means
showed that
PlayStation.
TikTok was
The
had
PlayStation is owned by Japan. So if they
hydroxychloroquine
deem Japan to be a
tutorial
threat to U.S.
on how
interests,
to
they have access
fabricate
to
this
PlayStation.
from grapefruit. Now, there's two problems with that. Number one, hydroxychloroquine is
We
not
already know that they
effective in
have.
treating COVID.
Oh,
So that's
hold on.
one issue frequently, and they can do it even if they have parental oversight. And so what I want to ask
this.
you is rather than putting the burden on young people and parents to accurately put in the birth date and so on when
Rather than rely on the parents and the actual people, the minors signing up for this site, rather than relying on them being honest and setting up their account correctly,
registering for TikTok, I want to ask you what TikTok can do to make sure to monitor this content. And I want to give you some examples of some of the extreme content. Mr. Latta talked about the blackout challenge and some of the dangers to young people's safety, but there's also extreme content around healthcare information. In one study, 13 out of 20 results for the question, does mugwort induce abortion? It talked about herbal
what the fuck is mugwort?
Called abortifacients like papaya seeds, which don't work. And so if people searching for information on safe abortions went on TikTok, they could get.
I guarantee you those people that were looking that shit up were like, hey, that doesn't sound right. I don't think this works. Let's figure this out and why this became a thing so I can call out the bullshit.
Devastatingly incorrect information. Another study showed that TikTok had a hydroxychloroquine tutorial on how to fabricate this from grapefruit. Now, there's two problems with that. Number one, hydroxychloroquine is not effective in treating COVID. So that's one issue. The second issue is you can't even make hydroxychloroquine from grapefruit. So again, this.
Yeah, no shit. You don't. Look, this whole committee hearing is complete fucking horseshit. This goes to show you that every single person, every single one of these people that are in here, that are in this subcommittee, don't know a fucking thing about tech or how any of this works. They're just literally cherry picking shit to make it seem worse than it is. They don't go further than that. They just say, "Oh, grapefruit doesn't cause abortion. You can't make hydroxychloroquine with grapefruit." No shit. Anybody with half a brain knows that. But yet, because people looked it up to make sure that they actually understood that, oh, well, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. They don't look into anything. God damn. They can't look into it because they don't understand what these people are actually looking for. To call out the bullshit.
This is a really serious miscommunication about healthcare information that people looking at TikTok are able to get. And in fact, it's being pushed out to them. So I want to know from you, and I will give you time to answer this. You have current controls, but the current controls are not working to keep this information mainly from young people, but from Americans in.
It also doesn't work on Facebook. It also doesn't work on Instagram. It also doesn't work on Twitter. It also doesn't work on everything else here in the United States that we use. But yet you want to target TikTok because you think it's a dangerous app and can be dangerous in certain circumstances. But you know full fucking well TikTok is the main place that we go to for actual news, because the Hunter Biden laptop story was actually used or was actually spread on that platform. We know about East Palestine because of TikTok. We know about a lot of shit that the government is doing because of TikTok. And you want full control over the availability to censor American citizens from telling each other what is really happening. That's what it's about.
In general, what more is TikTok doing to try to strengthen its review to keep this information from coming across to people?
Thank you for the question.
It's only dangerous in their pockets and their
The
interests.
dangerous misinformation that you mentioned is not allowed on our platform. It violates them.
I'm sorry to report it is on your platform, though.
Congresswoman, I don't think I can.
How many times have you seen a YouTube video where somebody tells you about something that's actually sensitive, but they switch around the language, to use like the jab or the enemies from WW2 or unaliving? They can't even do it on these platforms to keep this information from really getting out, but yet they want to go after TikTok because TikTok actually allows you to actually say a lot of things that are shadow banned or completely removed on these other platforms.
Can sit here and say that we are perfect in doing this. We do work very hard.
So how can you make yourself more perfect? I don't want you to say it's not there or you apologize. What can you do to limit it as much as possible, more than what you're doing now?
We invest a significant amount in our content moderation work. I shared that number in my written.
I know you're investing.
Yes.
He is trying to explain, but because he doesn't use a one-word sentence, this is what they all do. He tries to explain, and they want him to use one-word sentences, and if he doesn't, they cut him off.
But what steps are you taking to improve the AI or whatever else you're doing to limit this content?
For example, if you search for certain search terms, we do direct you on TikTok to safety resources. That's one of the things we have done. We will continue to invest in this. I recognize and fully align with you that.
Now that is true. However, people don't go searching for shit on TikTok. They wind up finding it and then go down a rabbit hole of other videos. They don't search for a term. That's not the way it works.
That this is a problem that faces our industry that we need to really invest and address. This, I'm very in alignment. The vast majority of our users come to our platform for entertaining, safe content, but there are people who do spout some dangerous misinformation, and we need to take that very seriously, invest in it, proactively identify it, and remove it from our platform.
Okay, I'm going to stop.
And he is correct. There is a lot of stupid ass people that do exist on that platform that they shouldn't exist in society altogether. They are a drain on resources, and I'm starting to understand why Bill Gates says the things he says because of that. But yeah, this is not a fucking thing. The way they try to address any of this.
Stop you right now. I asked you specifically how you're trying to increase your review of this. And you gave me only generalized statements that you're investing, that you're concerned, that you're doing more. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for the parents of America. I'm going to ask you to supplement your testimony and
all you
have
have
your.
to do, all you have to do is just watch like Alex Perlman, because I mean that dude's really knowledgeable about shit. He's really getting information out there. He does it in a hilarious ass way. Even though a lot of the things he says I don't agree with, he's still correct about it. And every time he cusses, he's got captions on all of his videos, but every time he cusses, he goes in there and he edits the cussing into agreeing with that situation. And it's allowed to have, it's great. He's learned how to skirt around the auto censorship.
Have your experts tell me what you're doing to make this a higher level of scrutiny, not just pablum at a hearing. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you.
Lady yields back. Chair recognizes the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Morris Rogers, for holding this important hearing. I appreciate the witness, Mr. Shoji Chu, for making yourself available here today.
While
many consider TikTok to be just another video sharing app, in reality, TikTok has been functioning as a massive surveillance program,
means
collecting vast swaths of personal data from more than 1 billion people worldwide. This includes data from personal devices of federal employees, contractors, and most concerning U.S. military service members and their families at places like Fort Bragg in North Carolina.
The chairman of
As
Federal
Fort Bragg's congressman, I have serious concerns
and the
about
heads
the
of
opportunities
other
TikTok gives the
executive
Chinese Communist
departments
Party
and
to
agencies
access
as
the non-public
appropriate. What
sensitive
does that
data
mean?
of our men and women in uniform.
I'm gonna pause that for a second. What does that mean? Anybody that they want to put under that umbrella, anybody that they want to bring in at any point in time. That's what that means. Doesn't even have to be related to the shit. They could just say, yeah, you fall under this now because we say so. Our Secretary of Treasury, State, Defense, Attorney General, Homeland Security, National Intelligence, Trade Representative, General Services, Chairman, Federal Communications, and anybody else that we just say, hey, this is you now. Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC video was masterful. It was masterful because you had to watch it twice. Yes. He was sitting there talking about how Pepsi couldn't compete with Coke. And now Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC are all in one spot because they figured it was cheaper to put them all in one restaurant. Yeah, that was great. But he is correct. He is 100% correct in everything he said in that. Relevant committees to Congress means a committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. The Committee on the Judiciary, Committee of Homeland Security, Government Affairs, Foreign Relations, on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, the Committee on Armed Services, the Committees of Rose Administration, Committee on Intelligence Security, Intelligence of the Senate. Well, there's not a lot of intelligence going on in the Senate, so fuck. Anyway, the Committee on Energy and Commerce, the Committee on the Judiciary, Homeland Security, Oversight and Accountability. They fail at every damn turn. Committee on Foreign Affairs, Armed Services, House Administration, Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence of House of Representatives. Again, there's not a lot of intelligence out there. It's like you have the collective intelligence of a 3-year-old. The term secretary means Secretary of Commerce. The term transaction means any acquisition, importation, transfer, installation, dealing in, or use of any information and communications technology products or service, including ongoing activities such as managed service, data transmission, software updates, repairs, or the provision of data hosting services, or a class of such transactions. So any transaction means Any form of business whatsoever, if products change hands, it doesn't even have to be money. If you exchange something for a good or service, that's a transaction to them. If it's not given to you for free, that's a transaction for them. Now, I will admit that I'm going to bring this up. There is a game called EVE Online, okay, where people would play the game, they would make real money on, or they would make, in-game currency and then sell it for real money, which did break the end user license agreement of the game. But they were doing this on, things like Amazon or eBay or things like that. And then they cracked down on that. Well, people started going into there and beating it in a clever way. They'd say like, okay, I'm selling a paperclip for $100. Now, what do you get in the terms of that agreement? Well, you get the paperclip for $100, and then as an added bonus, we give you like 5 trillion in-game currency or some shit like that, right? That's how they skirted around that. You bought the paperclip, but you got the other for free. Well, you bought the other thing, really. That's what the intention was. That's what you were buying for, but you got a paperclip. That's what they were doing with it, and it was ingenious. It was an ingenious way to get around it. But yeah. So for the EVE Online company, which is actually labeled CCP, but it has nothing to do with the Chinese Communist Party, which is incredibly weird. The company name was CCP, and it comes out of Iceland, Reykjavik, Iceland, or some shit like that. But yeah, that's where they're based at. That's where their servers are, everything. But the way the company decided to get around that was fuck it, we'll just create this item in game that you can buy and then trade on the open player-driven market for in-game currency. Because, I mean, that's what you're doing anyway. You're using your hard-earned money. You're using real money to buy in-game currency for this. So let's just create a product in-game and cut out the black market altogether. Problem was fucking solved. Oh, God. That was fucking ingenious of people to start doing that. And they're just like, well, fuck it. We can't stop that because, yeah, we can't stop you from buying paper clips. So let's just go ahead and create something in game so that these people we can get the money and cut out that black market altogether. Genius. Anyway, addressing. Let me go ahead and start that.
This personal data and location information can be harvested and could be used for blackmail, to conduct espionage, and to possibly even reveal troop movements.
Oh, this dude.
While the Department of Defense and most agencies have banned TikTok on government-issued devices, I believe more needs to be done.
That number in our
Congressman, this important hearing. I appreciate the witness, Mr. Shoji Chu, for making yourself available here today. While many consider TikTok to be just another video sharing app, in reality, TikTok has been functioning as a massive surveillance program, collecting vast swaths of personal data from more than 1 billion people worldwide. This includes data from the personal devices of federal employees, contractors, and most concerning, U.S. military service members and their families at places like Fort Bragg.
Mind you, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Amazon, Newegg, everybody collects this data from you. The only problem that they have is they don't have control of the information that is collected. They don't have ownership of the information that is collected.
In North Carolina, as Fort Bragg's congressman, I have serious concerns about the opportunities TikTok gives the Chinese Communist Party to access the non-public sensitive data of our men and women in uniform. This personal data and location information can be harvested and could be used for blackmail, to conduct espionage, and to possibly even reveal troop movements. While the Department of Defense and most agencies have banned TikTok on government-issued devices, I believe more needs to be done at the command level to urge troops and their dependents to erase the app from the personal devices and keep them off home Wi-Fi. Having an app banned on a device in one pocket, but downloaded on your device in the other doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe Congress and DOD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the.
So if I have TikTok app on my phone and my phone is on my home Wi-Fi network, does TikTok access that network?
It will have to access the network to get connections to the internet, if that's the question.
Is it possible then that it could access other devices on that home Wi-Fi network?
Congressman, we do not do anything that is beyond any industry norms. I believe the answer to your question is no. It could be technical. Let me get back to you.
Okay, I'd appreciate it if you can answer that. I'd like to change direction.
I'm sorry, you didn't press any fucking harder than that. I understand where you were going with that. Like I said before, I understand where you were going with that. You were trying to allude to the whole fact of it does say in their terms of service in a vague roundabout way that TikTok can have access to other devices on the network in which it is used. Basically, if TikTok is on your phone and it's connected to your home Wi-Fi, your computer that's connected to your home Wi-Fi, your Roku that's connected to your home Wi-Fi, they can use that. They can look into that. They can get into that. It is actually in their terms of service in a vague way. Now, it is not expressly written in their terms of service, but just like the government did with the Patriot Act, where they didn't spell it out completely, they didn't try to rewrite everything. They're just like, well, because you ran into this person, now we have the ability to track and monitor you. Yeah. Who was it? Edward Snowden? I think it was that brought that out. I think that was Edward Snowden. Either that or Julian Assange. That was Snowden, I believe. That was the whistleblower for that kind of shit. So yeah. But I'll be right back, guys.
Do you receive personal employment, salary, compensation, or benefits from ByteDance?
Yes, I do.
What is your salary from ByteDance?
Congressman, if you don't mind, I would prefer to keep my compensation private.
Okay. Do you personally have any company shares or stock in ByteDance or Douyin?
Congressman, if you don't mind, I would like to keep my personal assets private.
Is TikTok the company your only source of employment compensation? Where's your other source of income outside of TikTok?
It's my only source of compensation.
Do you have any financial debts or obligations to ByteDance, Douyin, or any other ByteDance affiliated entity?
Personally? No, I do not.
Does your management team receive separate salary, compensation, or benefits from ByteDance?
We receive salaries from the entities that we are employed in, but we do share in the employee stock option plan that is available from the ByteDance top company.
So your primary salary comes from TikTok, but you have other compensation that comes directly from ByteDance?
You can characterize it as that, yes.
Does your management team have company shares or stock in ByteDance or Douyin?
Yes, some of our employees are compensated in shares in ByteDance.
Does TikTok share technological resources with Douyin? Are the two technology systems or IT systems interconnected in any way?
There are, as with many companies, some shared resources on some services, but it doesn't include anything that involves US user data, Congressman, is in Project Texas, as we talked about, stored by default in American soil by an American company.
But currently there is shared technology or interconnected IT systems.
Congressman, with respect, I have to get back to you. This could be a very broad question. Like, for example, we could all be using Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, if you could get back with details on that, I'd appreciate it. Can Douyin personnel or employees access TikTok user data?
Not after Project Texas, this is not allowed.
Are there employees who are employed by both Douyin and TikTok?
I do not believe so.
Okay. And so I don't believe so. Is that it? I mean, again, I'll allow you to come back in the written response if you could give me a definitive answer.
I will go back and check to be very sure.
Okay. Thank you. I'm also concerned about an issue that our chairwoman brought up about an apparent pattern of misinformation or misrepresentation from your company in regards to the amount and extent of data that you're collecting, as well as how much has been accessed from inside China. There are dozens of public reports that conclude individuals in the People's Republic of China have been accessing data on U.S. users, directly contradicting several public statements by TikTok employees. And I'm referencing Project Raven, which was first reported on by Forbes last October. Their investigation revealed, I'm sorry, I'm about out of time. Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, Congressman. We do not condone the effort by certain former employees to access U.S. TikTok user data in an attempt to identify the source of leaked confidential information. We condemn these actions. After learning about them, we found a highly reputable law firm to thoroughly investigate the incident. We took swift disciplinary action against employees who were found to be involved and are implementing measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. We have made this team available to you. I think they have briefed many of you in this committee very extensively, and I will continue to make them very available to you as part of our transparent commitment.
Thank you. My time's expired. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair recognizes the lady from Illinois, Ms. Sherkowski, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. So today, in the Wall Street Journal, they said today, China's commerce minister said that China opposes the sale of TikTok because it would involve exporting China's technology and would, and this is the important part, and would need to be approved by the Chinese government. Would need to be approved by the Chinese government. So all of what you've been saying about the distance between TikTok and China has been said to be not true in the paper today, and I would like to see what you have to say in response.
Congresswoman, I do disagree with that characterization. I think we have designed Project Texas to protect U.S. user interests and to move forward here in the U.S. Again, it's
one thing I want to do. Hold on, let's go back a little bit here.
Okay, it's I don't believe so. Is that it? I mean, if again, I'll allow you to come back in the written response if you could give me a definitive answer.
I will go back and check to be very sure.
Okay, thank you. I'm also concerned about an issue that our chairwoman brought up about an apparent pattern of misinformation or misrepresentation from your company in regards to the amount and extent of data that you're collecting, as well as how much has been accessed from inside China. There are dozens of public reports that conclude individuals in the People's Republic of China have been accessing data on U.S. users, directly contradicting several public statements by TikTok employees. And I'm referencing Project Raven, which was first reported on by Forbes last October. Their investigation revealed, I'm sorry, I'm about out of time. Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, Congressman. We do not condone the effort by certain former employees to access U.S. TikTok user data in an attempt to identify the source of leaked confidential information.
But yet they allow it to happen here in the United States on US-based platforms, right? You're pissed off because personal data has been leaked on TikTok, but yet it's okay to leak personal data on Twitter. I mean, they call it doxing, and it's supposedly not allowed, but anybody that was any left-leaning kind of situation, they were protected. But anybody that was right-leaning on that platform was able to be doxed. And it was allowed. And there are instances, especially with Twitter, where the employees themselves gave out that information. Yeah. Yeah, that information was in the Twitter files too.
We condemn these actions. After learning about them, we found a highly reputable law firm to thoroughly investigate the interoperability purposes. Now,
yes or no, that does TikTok share user information from companies, from parent companies, from affiliated, or send user information to overseas?
In the past, yes, for interoperability purposes. Now, after Project Texas, all protected U.S. data will be stored here with the access controlled by a special team of U.S. personnel. Again, Congresswoman, this is something that, as far as I understand, no other company, including American companies, are willing to go. So maybe this is something that we can ask the industry to provide, not just us, to protect
In
U.S.
the
user
case of
interests.
sharing information, I do want to quote from employees that you had, and here's the quote, everything is seen in China, is really what they said. People who were in touch with the sensitive data were saying that. How do you respond to that?
I disagree with that statement.
Well, I know you disagree with that statement, but my point is, how does that happen that employees of the company are saying that, in fact, that's not true?
Page unresponsive.
I cannot speak to, I don't know who this person is, so I cannot speak to what the person has or has not said. What I can say is, based on my position in this company and the responsibility that I have, that statement is just not true.
Okay, unfortunately, and I'll close, I guess I'm over my time. We need to look into the facts of this, and so do you. And I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes the lady from
Not having a
Florida,
problem.
Ms.
That's gotta be
Kamek, for
clear.
5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mr. Shou, are you aware of Chinese Communist Party leader Chairman Xi Jinping's comments in May 2021 during a Communist Politburo study session where he instructed colleagues to target different countries, different audiences with short form video? Are you aware of these comments? Yes or no?
Congresswoman, I'm not aware of these comments.
Okay. Well, and as was pointed out by Chairwoman Rogers, you have regular contact with Chinese Communist Party Secretary, Mr. Zhang Fuping, who is your boss at ByteDance, correct?
No.
No.
No, he's
Interesting.
neither my boss, nor do we have frequent contact.
But you have regular contact with ByteDance,
With the CEO of ByteDance.
who is Mr. Zhang Fuping is the
He's not.
editor-in-chief.
He's not the
My
CEO.
colleague, Representative Burgess, a few minutes ago exposed that TikTok and ByteDance share legal teams. You confirmed this, correct?
Our general counsel is
Yes.
an
Yes or
American lawyer,
Yes.
veteran of Microsoft.
Also, my colleague, Representative Latta, confirmed that your parent company, ByteDance, currently can access user data. Yes?
We have to be more
Yes.
specific.
Yes.
After
You
Project
say-
Texas, no.
I'm not asking after Project Texas. I'm asking now. Yes.
Some user data is public data, Congresswoman, which
fuck
means
you have to
everybody
confirm that.
can search
What's
for it on the
interesting to
internet.
me is that you have used the word transparency over a half a dozen times in your opening testimony and subsequently again in your answers to my colleagues. Yet the interesting thing to me is that ByteDance, your parent company, has gone out of their way to hide an airbrush corporate structure ties to the CCP, the company's founder, and their activities. You can look no further than the fact that ByteDance website has been scrubbed. In fact, we found web pages from the Beijing Internet Association, the industry association charged with Communist Party building work of internet companies in Beijing. They have been
hell is happening
archived, but since deleted. Makes you kind of wonder why. Yes or no, ByteDance is required to have a member of the Chinese government on its board with veto power. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. ByteDance owns some Chinese businesses, and you're talking about a very special subsidiary that is
Mr.
for
Shou,
Chinese business
Mr.
licensing.
Shou,
purposes.
I'm going to have to move on. You've said repeatedly that there is no threat, that this is a platform for entertainment and for fun. I have to ask you then, if there is no threat to Americans, if there is no threat to our data, privacy, security, why did an
Everything
internal
shut the fuck
memo
down.
from TikTok corporate headquarters explicitly coach senior management to, quote, downplay the parent company ByteDance? Why would they say downplay the China Association and downplay AI? This is from an internal memo from your company. Why, if you had nothing to hide, would you need to downplay the association with ByteDance in China?
Congresswoman, I have not seen
You
this
can't-
memo.
You
What
can't
I
answer
can
that
say-
question. Mr. Show, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a short video, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's the computer. All right. Give me a minute. I'm going to restart every damn thing. Apparently, my computer's having problems. I will be back here in just a few minutes. Okay. Is it? Wow. It never stopped anything. Nice. Okay. We are back here. Quick reboot. All right.
From your company. Why, if you had nothing to hide, would you need to downplay the association with ByteDance in China?
Yeah. Okay.
Congresswoman, I have not seen
You
this
can't-
memo.
You can't
What I
answer
can
that
say-
question. Mr. Show, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a short video, if you don't mind. Mr. Show, that video was posted 41 days ago.
Well, let me propose a question for you. Would that have been a thing if the government did not fuck with the American people every single day of the week? Or do some shady shit and try to steal our money, say, send it overseas to somewhere like Ukraine, and then put us in a situation where our dollar collapses so you can put us on a digital currency that you can have full control over? If you weren't doing shit like that, would that exist? Because I'm going to say no.
As you can see, it is captioned me as F at the House Energy and Commerce Committee on March 23rd of this year. This video was posted before this
April
hearing
Fools
was
is
publicly
canceled this year.
noticed.
There is no
I
bigger
think that's
joke
a very
than you
interesting
men.
point to raise. But more concerning is the
There's
fact
no
that
bigger
it
joke
names
than
this
women who think
chairwoman
men can
by
be
name.
women and herald that
Your
shit and
own
then start
community
complaining about the
guidelines
patriarchy
state
that they created. There's no bigger
that
joke than
you
that, ma'am.
have a firm stance against enabling violence on or off TikTok. We do not allow people to use our platform to threaten or incite violence or to promote violent extremist organizations, individuals, or acts. When there is a threat to public safety or an account is used to promote or glorify off-platform violence, we ban the account. This video has been up for 41 days. It is a direct threat to the chairwoman of this committee, the people in this room, and yet it still remains on the platform. And you expect us to believe that you are capable of maintaining the data security, privacy, and security of 150 million Americans where you can't even protect the people in this room? I think that is.
I want y'all to look at this stupid shit right here. Trans women are men. Are women. No, trans women are men. Trans men are not men. Trans men are women. Non-binary people are non-binary. No, they're either men or women. Just because they don't want to identify as such does not make that biologically any different. Are y'all tired of the stupidity that we have here in America? Right? Well, in our society. It's not really America. It's all over the fucking world at this point. Are y'all tired of the stupidity?
A blatant display of how vulnerable people who use TikTok are. You couldn't take
These are the
action after
victims of Nashville.
41 days when a clear threat, a very violent threat
These
to
kids
the chairwoman of this
deserve
committee
that
and the
shit
members of this
just
committee
because you
was
feel
posted
some
on
type
your
of way,
platform.
just because you're slighted, because we
You
will
damn
not
well
bow
know
down
that
to
you
your
cannot
fucking dumbass
protect the data and
ideology
security
that goes
of this
against
committee
biology
or
of
the
what we've
150
known
million
for
users
over
of
100
your
years.
app, because it is an extension of the CCP.
These
And with
kids
that, I
deserve
yield
it.
back.
Can I
Go
respond?
fuck yourself.
Chair?
No, we're going to move on. Gentlelady yields back. Chairman recognizes the lady from California, Ms. Matsui, for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I'm really glad that we're having this very important hearing here
Going back
today.
into the 1890s.
And let me just say, make no mistake, the Chinese
Hold
government
up.
represents a real and immediate threat. Look no
Hold
further
up.
than even the vulnerable gear still in our telecom networks that needs to be.
If this is supposedly from the 1890s, which I call bullshit on, number one, these buildings do not exist in the 1890s. Not this style. Not the way it's done here. This is probably 50s or 60s. But you're gonna sit there and tell me that from back from the 1890s that you had black people and Chinese people and white people and Arab, I guess that would be, all in one place to take a fuck no. This might have been from that day, that time period, or I can't really say it is or not. These are old historic buildings, probably in London, so they're going to look exactly the same as they do now for the most part. These people look like they're actually from like a play or something like that. I'm so fucking tired of stupid people.
Ripped and replaced. But we can't lose sight of the important internet governance issues TikTok and other social media companies represent. I'm especially committed to demanding
What's this?
transparency.
Well, that's a shitty ass punch, but why are these people not being arrested? And if they are arrested, why are they be let back out on the street? You know, the shit's not going to stop until these people are, till examples are made. But no, let's worry about Trump indictment, right? Let's worry about the supposed hush money that Michael Cohen paid out of his own pocket to shut her up, and then billed Trump as legal fees, and then Trump pays said legal fees. But yeah, that somehow that's more important than people like this going around committing acts of violence and murder. Yeah, somehow that's more important than this shit, right?
From large platforms about the algorithms that shape our online interactions, especially for teenagers and young users. And that's why I introduced the Algorithmic Justice and Online Platform Transparency Act to bring greater visibility into this ecosystem. My bill would prohibit algorithms that discriminate on the basis of race, age, gender, ability, and other protected characteristics. It also would.
Hold on. Today, marches will happen worldwide for the Trans Day availability. We demand liberation. No more outlying our medical care or dignity. No more targeting children. To those marching, thank you. We bend the arc of history towards. Hold the fuck up, you dumb, retarded asshole. We demand liberation. What rights do you have that you do I have that you do not? Name fucking one. No more outlawing our medical care. We're just saying wait till you were legally an adult before trying to cut off your body parts. No more targeting children. You just ended 3 kids that have absolutely nothing to fucking do with anything, and you want to sit there talking about targeting children? Bitch. And the fucked up thing about this is most of these aren't even trans people. They're just marching along because they've been told to.
Establish a safety and effectiveness standard for algorithms while requiring new forms of oversight.
March 31st, Florida passes a Don't Say Gay expansion. Okay. Again, Aaron Reed, you retarded fucking piece of shit. I'm not going to sit here and be nice to you. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your pronouns. Go fuck yourself. You are a fucking man in the first goddamn place. I don't give a shit about you. Number one, you targeted kids and now you're doing this shit. You killed kids and now you're doing this shit. Shut the fuck up. Number one. Number two, don't say gay. Well, that was... I love how they're trying to reframe that. That's the parental rights and education bill that says you can't talk about sex to any child for any reason. Kindergarten through 3rd grade. You can't talk about it, which means it can't be in the curriculum. You can't teach these things to children. Anything. Straight, homophobic, transphobic, homosexual, transsexual, whatever. You can't teach kids about it. I'm so fucking tired of the stupid people in society having the ability to create this dumbass shit. You want to sit there and talk about censoring voices? Oh, misinformation? This is the biggest part of misinformation ever. Men can be women and women can be men. That's misinformation, motherfuckers. Disinformation because you actually know better. Malinformation because you do know better, but you're trying to blur the lines of reality and you are trying to subvert biology by pushing this dumbass thought process onto other people. So you know what the fuck you're doing. You know the actual truth, but yet just because you feel like you've been targeted because the media keeps telling you the trans genocide that never fucking existed, kids are dead because of this, and now y'all want to act like this shit. No. See, this is fucking terrorism. Terrorism is defined as the use of violence or intimidation for political gain. What the fuck are you doing? This is intimidation. How many times have we seen a lot of violence happen just because somebody didn't use your fucking pronouns? Now, this is terrorism. Just like Antifa going around firebombing that police training center, 150 of them actually attacking a state government institution. Yet somehow that's not terrorism. Okay. Then I want nothing to do with democracy. Because y'all don't even understand what the fuck you're doing.
Has been the behavior of the police here today.
Oh no, the cops didn't ride your dick.
They don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
She thought it was a joke. She thought it was...
So start punching people back then.
When she did look at it twice,
if they're not going to do anything about it, then they can't arrest you for doing the same.
This other officer took down my information, but they don't want to do anything about it. We've got the perpetrator on video.
Any supporters here? Nah.
And there's nothing they want to do.
What do you think about the fact that they're being so angry and violent just like a week after a transgender activist shot and killed some people in a Christian school?
So these people are all mentally ill.
Yeah.
But the police, man, I don't know what to say. It's just incredible, the state of Canada right now. You'd think that the cult of transgenderism had hired their own police force and brought them out today because they're doing nothing to protect us. They're just here to support these people. You've got another guy. There was another man who was just punched by somebody. Police are doing nothing about it.
Did he push the other person first? Was it retaliation that he got fucking punched?
Why do you think that they're
Was
getting
it?
that kind of
Because it
representation?
fucking was,
I mean,
huh?
it's clearly was aggressive
I guarantee you it didn't fucking happen that way.
violent assault.
You suck. You suck. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're not wanted. Fuck you. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. I don't know what to say. I guess you. These police.
Wow. Wow. See, this is allowed to happen. Violence, intimidation for political gain. Yeah, that's allowed to fucking happen. Now, this is in Canada, which they don't. Fuck Canada. Canada's a worthless shithole at this point anyway. Trudeau is a worthless fucking prime minister. He ran from peaceful ass truckers, guys. Truckers descended on, I think it was Calgary, wasn't it? Calgary, Alberta, or something like that. The capital of Canada. He fucking ran from truckers who all they were doing was honking their horns and cleaning up the city. Put that in your brain and fucking remember that one.
Police officers are mostly indoctrinated as well. Everyone here, they're afraid of the mob. Because you're.
Fuck you. You're hated. Everyone doesn't want you here. You're hated. Because you're talking about biology and reality. You're hated for that.
You're a fucking idiot. I think they're afraid that if they do anything to actually keep law and order, that they'll end up being on the end of this verbal abuse. So
Why do they get locked in this cycle of just repeating the same shit over and over and over again? Like that's doing anything? Like that's proving a fucking point when you say the same things over and over and over again? Like if you're going to say it enough times to somebody that doesn't believe, that they're actually going to start believing your stupid ass ideologies and your beliefs? What is the point in any of that?
Teenager who had been groomed and preyed upon and sexually exploited online to the point of authorities getting involved. I spiraled into a hatred of myself and my body and was told that it was just because I was a boy born in the wrong body and that this would fix me. I was affirmed down a path where I wasn't given any other choice as to what would help me. The very first medical intervention I ever had was a double mastectomy at 16. And then a few months later,
Wait, I thought it doesn't happen, ladies and gentlemen. They're not doing this to kids. Surgeries don't happen for kids. Oh, wait. Yeah, they are, but it's gender affirming care and it should be praised. And now that states are actually saying, no, you are mutilating children and we will not stand for it. Now 3 kids are dead and you motherfuckers are marching around for the right to mutilate children. The fuck? I mean, all you have to do is just look at Jazz Jennings. At 2 years old, that child was pushed into that ideology. At 2 years old, before the child even knew, before they were even self-aware of themselves, that child was pushed into an ideology of being the opposite sex. And now, 20 plus years later, Jazz is just like, I was lied to. I got fucked over. My body's mutilated and destroyed from this shit. The fuck did you do to me?
I was put on testosterone. I'm now 21, and I will live with the impacts of that so-called care for the rest of my life. In the past 4 or 5 months, I have watched as my body has fallen apart in front of me. My joints constantly hurting, my vocal cords aching, watching as parts of me atrophy away before my very eyes.
And do you know why that is? A woman biologically is set up for estrogen, not testosterone. A man is biologically set up for testosterone, not for estrogen. When you do that, the detrimental effects like the density of bones, the density of muscles, the reproductive organs on your body itself will shut down. If a man doesn't get enough testosterone, guess what? It's fatal. If a woman doesn't get enough estrogen, guess what? It is fatal. That's biology. That's science. Look at the fuck up if you don't believe me.
And yet at 16, they looked me in the eyes and they told me this was care. They told me it would save me. Despite the fact I was never suicidal, my parents were baited with the idea of, would you rather have a dead daughter or a living son? Bullied into going along with it. Their biggest crime being trusting those who they thought took an oath to do no harm. It's not about hate, detransitioning. It never has been. It's about keeping kids whole. I've worked with children. I've seen them explore the world, and I've seen that magic that they have. And doing something like transitioning them takes that away. How can you look me in the eyes and tell me that a child can consent to being changed?
Right. Gino7250 over there on Rumble. Gender mutilating care with constant affirmation to convince them that it is right. Yes. Wasn't this done to a certain group of individuals during World War II? Wasn't that a Goebbels thing as well?
To an experimental medical industry before they're even old enough to drive or understand the impacts of what that means in the first place. Kids deserve to be kids. They deserve to get to explore the world as a safe and loving place.
Yeah. Let's go back here.
Now, this bill would require online platforms to publish annual public
And all this under the guise of visibility, like we exist. No, you exist. I will admit, though. Well, hold on. No, that's an adult. Oh, that's a kid. So there's at least one. No, there are multiple children there. April Fool's Day is canceled this year because no made-up prank could match the unbelievable crap going on in the world right now. Agreed. Captain of the first ever football team of a transgender man in Europe. Well, that's fine. Let's see how that actually works out because, I mean, what was it? The WNBA. I mean, there are multiple like professional sports teams that were beaten by high school kids. Okay, yeah, like there's no difference in men and women, right? That shit doesn't happen. I'm not even going to respond to that stupidity. Cartoon Network. Yeah, this is the same Cartoon Network that had eye AIDS. This is the same Cartoon Network. Do y'all remember this shit? Hold on. Let's see. Videos. No. Was it no? I just want the commercial, you dumbass. Let's creep up. Misspelled it, but whatever. No. Where is that one? Anyway, bizarre and disturbing Cartoon Network commercial. No. That's Adult Swim. Of course that's going to be weird. Let's create Bop commercial. Anyway, there was a commercial from Cartoon Network about that had the Blitzkrieg Bop song from the Ramones. That the song is literally about teenagers having intercourse in a vehicle, and it was playing over a Cartoon Network commercial. January 2000. I forget exactly when that was.
Stay tuned for more bugs and data.
Well, it wasn't a commercial. It was literally an ad spot. No, that's too far back. Cartoon Network. ELITZ. This is going to bother me till I find it. I'm misspelling the hell out of it. Here it is. That's horrible quality. This one. Now, mind you, like I said, mind you, this song is about teenagers having sex in the backseat of a car. I was a lot younger when I heard this, and it freaked me the fuck out. This is back in 2009. Now, I can understand it if y'all didn't use that song with that, or just the music, but the fact that you added the first verse and the whole thing. Yeah, back in 2009, it was like the fuck. That song is about teenagers having intercourse in the back of a car, and you're playing this for kids. That was back in 2009, though. Cartoon Network is becoming just as degenerate.
Reports detailing their content moderation practices, which I believe
Not really
should be
seeing
a
a lot
baseline
of.
requirement.
Oh my God, is that Kathy Hochul? No, in Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, stretching Gretchen.
Today is Trans Day of Visibility, and I want you to know that no matter who you are, who you love, how you identify, there's a place for you right here in Michigan. We will fight for your freedom to live your life and to be yourself without fear of discrimination. Earlier
That being
this
on a
month,
kid's show,
I
you know
signed an
exactly what I'm talking about,
expansion of
AR.
Michigan's Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act to reaffirm protections for sexual orientation and expand protections to include gender identity and expression. This is about ensuring that no one can be fired from their job or evicted from their home because of who they are or how they identify. I'm so proud we got this done. While other states are dedicated,
There is already laws about that. There are federal labor laws that you cannot discriminate on the basis of race, sexual orientation, creed, religion. That's already a law. But now more laws are in place to protect this shit. I mean, if you want to identify as if you're a man, you want to identify as a woman, your job cannot fire you for that unless you were doing something like that. That teacher in Canada. Now, I know Canada's a different situation. They have laws that actually, well, they don't have laws that would affect that. But unless you're doing something like that, unless you were doing something inappropriate in the workforce, they can't discriminate. If you want to say you're a woman, you can say you're a woman. If you want to dress up as a woman, as long as it's tasteful and you're not showing off body parts or anything like that, you can do that. There are laws that say you can't discriminate based on that. I mean, it's posted in every single business. You cannot be discriminated against on your race, your sex, your creed, your religion. You cannot be discriminated. That is posted. It is, oh my God. They have to, by law, they have to post these things. Star Trek said trans rights in 1990. What? I have decided to allow my child to choose its own sex and appearance. Not to have an aneurysm. Data is a fucking android that built another android. There is no... Maybe Bill Gates has a point. There are way too many stupid people that exist in this fucking world today. Maybe he has a point. Maybe the population has become so overpopulated that this dumb shit is happening. I'm the trans sheep of the family. I deserve the support of my family without any government persecution. First of all, the government isn't persecuting you, number one. Number two, it is your family's responsibility to... Oh my fucking God. So because people are actually telling you the truth and trying to stop your mental illness, your insanity, that you deserve for people rooted in reality to affirm your delusion. And then later on, when you realize it is a delusion and you've done irreparable harm, to blame the same people that you wanted to affirm your delusion for being delusional and not talking about reality. That's exactly what all this is. You don't want to take accountability for yourself. You want to be able to blame anybody else other than yourself for this delusional shit. Oh, I'm done. I'm so fucking done with society. I wonder if the remaining members of the Ramones are all woke or hate the shit. I don't know. I mean, if they're still trying to be in the public eye as far as that goes, then they'd have to at least pretend to be woke, or they don't get jobs like Gina Carano or a lot of others. Kevin Sorbo. I mean, if you're not going along with their crazy ass shit, you don't work in Hollywood. You don't work in the music industry. Yeah. Then you got people, independent artists and everything who do chart on billboards who don't even get recognized because they're independent and nobody can control them. There's like a lot of shady shit going on there too. Of course, we all know that. Trans rights are human rights. Nobody denies that. You want special rights for yourself. You want the right to mutilate kids. By the way, did you guys know in California now, they are actually able to take away children from their parents with impunity? If the child says they're sad, that doesn't even have to be forms of abuse, evidence of forms of any kind of abuse. Just because the child says they're sad, the state of California now has the right to take those children away from their parents. You heard that. The state of California now has the right to take away children from their parents just because the kid says they're sad. No forms of abuse need to be. There doesn't even have to be evidence of anything. Just because the kid says they're sad, the state of California can now take the kids away from the parents. Fuck. It's this person making a post for trans men. Hello, my name is Small Bean Trans Boys. Just so you know, these things on your chest aren't your boobs. It's your misplaced ball sack. All right. Good joke. My chestnuts.
Everyone, it's Billboard Chris. Had another successful day having conversations on this Transgender Day of Visibility. I'll upload some footage later. As you can see, I've been assaulted a few times. I'm covered in dirt. And the Vancouver police did nothing about any of it. So stay tuned for some footage. Thank you. Hey, everyone.
Well, Billboard Chris, I'll tell you that it doesn't matter if you were in the United States either. That shit is going to happen. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up how they're able to do this shit because they feel threatened just because people say, you're not a man. You're not a woman. Come back down to reality. Let's have a real conversation. Let's deal with this. Just saying that is violence to these people. But silence is violence to these people. Words are violence to these people. No, they're using everything as a justification to murder you. And this is allowed. Please remember black trans people exist. Oh, so now the race card is played. Congratulations. We have hit the ninth circle of hell at this point. You're not allowed to discriminate based on the race, based on the sex, based on religion. But yet it's okay. It's okay for these radicalized trans people who believe in this bullshit trans genocide that the media has pushed for so long to run up in a school and delete 3 9-year-old children and 3 adults based on religion. Yes.
Okay. Hello, boys and girls. My name is Matt Walsh. I am a children's author, and I've written a book called Johnny the Walrus. This book is all about identity and imagination. What is identity? Does anyone know what identity means?
No.
Do you know? You know what identity is? No? Okay. It's who you are, right? That's what it means. Now, who likes to pretend to be things? Is there anything you like to pretend to be? How about in the back?
I like to pretend to be
A ninja. That's a good one. What about you? All right. Well, we all like to use our imagination. Sometimes I use my imagination. I pretend to be a monster. I chase my kids around because I'm big and ugly, so I could be a monster. That's what this book is about. It's all about a boy who pretends to be a walrus. He identifies as a walrus, and his mom's a little silly. She takes it seriously and thinks he really is a walrus. That's silly, isn't it?
So what is this thing doing on the floor?
We don't have to worry about that. We're going to read the book now. Okay. Johnny's a boy with a big imagination. One day, he's a
God damn it. It's fine. I'm not going to listen to the story. I'm big and scary and ugly, so I can I can identify as a monster. Oh, God damn it. What was this? Joshua versus Franklin? What? Oh, you just put that in there for whatever reason. Okay, whatever. What is this? We've tried death threats, rape threats. We've called them transphobe, bigots, and cunts. We've tried to call them Nazis, getting them fired, and yet they still refuse to believe a man can be a woman if he says he is. You're damn fucking right. Oh, so this was the dude actually getting assaulted. Transgender and non-binary Canadians, you matter. Your lives matter, and we're what? See what the fuck I'm talking about? I don't think this is gonna fit for you, Ed. This doesn't work for you. Edward Elric in the story wound up growing up and marrying Winry Rockbell. This doesn't work for you. Yeah, Craig. If you don't agree with their ideology, you're a subject. And you're a target. You never convince me this shit is normal. Never. No, you won't. What the fuck are you?
Och det blev liksom något form av för eller emot. Så har diskussionerna kring bandet och musiken och min sångstil eller vad det nu kan ha varit har liksom på nästan alltid varit på samma sätt. Skivan.
Ever since we released our first album,
och det blev liksom något form av för eller
kind of for or against the discourse around our band and our music and my style of
min
singing,
sångstil eller vad det nu kan ha varit.
or whatever it may be, has always been.
Alltid varit på
It
samma
always
sätt.
been in the same way.
Antingen
It's
så
either
de som tycker om det
the
eller
people
som
who
tycker
enjoy
att
it
det
or
var
the ones
gay.
that think it's gay or not.
Eller liksom inte metal nog. Och då har det oftast varit att det
Which
är
more often than not means it's. Hold on. All right. Full fucking stop on this. Not too long ago, if you didn't like something, you would say that it was gay, because it was something that Something that just didn't tickle your fancy. It was never meant as an insult to the gay community in the first place. It's just a word. Just like dude. Saying that, hey, dude. Or, hey, man. To just people. This is, oh my fucking God. Y'all want to rewrite language just to suit your fucking needs. By the way, did you know? Let's look this up. Infliction or punishment in return for a wrong committed. Retribution. What was it? Merriam-Webster changed it or something? With great face and extreme, excessive to a degree. No, there was something. One of these tried to change the word vengeance. The pushing of someone harming you or your friends or family with the wish for such punishment to happen. Or the punishment. The punishment of someone for harming you or your friends or family, or the wish for such punishment to happen. Yeah. It was Cambridge. Infliction of injury, harm, humiliation, or the like on a person or another who has been harmed by that person, violent revenge. An act of opportunity inflicting such trouble. How many words have been changed now because of all this dumb shit? I mean, women, the definition of woman has changed. As a matter of fact, fascism, the only place you'll find far right in the description is on Wikipedia. Everything else doesn't even say anything about left or right ideology. It does hint to left-wing ideology, but it never says anything about that. Let's see, what are some of the others? Racism was redefined as prejudice prejudice plus power, other than the fact that the original definition of the word is the discrimination of a person or persons based on the color of skin with the belief that one's own race is superior. That was changed. How many other words are we going to change around because people want to be delusional? This is the erasure of history to change a culture. Now, the culture war has been going on for a long time, but everything has been ratcheted up to a new degree here. And people like me who remember these things, we're going to be in 20, 30 years, we're going to be the crazy old people sitting out on our front porch, the get off my lawn, crazy kids, those kinds of, we're going to be those. We're going to be those people. Because we're going to remember these things. We're going to remember the way things used to be. And the kids that are growing up under this ideology are going to be so fucked up and so forcefully retarded that they're going to grow up to run this country. They're going to grow up to decide how our laws decide the fate of the people. They're going to grow up to be able to do that. I mean, there's no two ways about it. People like us will eventually die, and the next generation will take our place. Are y'all worried yet? Fuck. I'm sure y'all are really worried, but this powder keg has already been lit, ladies and gentlemen. And we're getting close to ignition.
To enable meaningful oversight. and consumer choice. Mr. Chu, just yes or no, do you believe a requirement for annual content?
Oh, we gotta watch this crazy shit.
If you want my future, I'm gonna get you fast. If you wanna get with me, I'll turn your face into a mask. I won't be wasting this precious time. I'll get you in the dark and then commit this crime. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want your soul. That's right, I want your soul. Your soul. Your soul. Your soul. If you want to be a corpse, I'll bring you to my basement. That's right. I won't feel no remorse. You'll be like nothing left. If you want to be a corpse, you're going to give me your soul. Taking it forever left to pay the toll.
All right. I am genuinely concerned because this is... This is Silence of the Lamb meets the Joker at this point. What the fuck did I just watch? What the fuck is this? Took my treasure to a drag queen story time with a shining example of tolerance and inclusivity. I am so proud to... Ladies and gentlemen, I can't help but laugh because that was fucking weird. But that person just threatened you. That person just threatened to end your life in their basement, Silence of the Lamb style, looking like a Wish version of the Joker. Oh, God. We've seen that.
And give it a damn call. And give it a damn call.
You're out of focus. Are you trying to make like drunk goggles? Is that what that is? Beer goggles? What the fuck is this? To all my non-binary GNC. What is GNC? Gay non-Christian? I don't know what that is. Trans folk out there who defy and transcend gender norms in every way, who morph and shapeshift like the gods they are. The day is yours too. Your voice matters and the warmth you seek. So, maybe Gothix has a point when she says that since these people don't worship God, they worship themselves as God. Maybe she has a point behind that.
To see that this was possible. I want everyone to see that trans joy should be the priority. When you talk about trans people, talk about their happiness. Trans people are extremely talented at trying to persevere through a society often pushes you down. And all we hear is...
They're also extremely talented of saying they're going to kill you because you don't believe them. They're also extremely talented at knitting children that have absolutely nothing to do with that that ideology just because. Yeah, they're extremely talented. All right. You just gave this person $2 million for standing there with blue hair saying this bullshit. You just made that person a millionaire. For gender affirming care, you gave them $2 million so this dumbass can get the dick chopped off. Y'all's fault. Every fucking bit of this. TikTok creator Mercy Stardust is hosting a 30-hour live event where she is raising money for trans healthcare. $1 million goal has been reached, and now she is aiming for $2 million. No, it is aiming for $2 million. Get your fucking wording right, Bo.
Decide our fate.
Individual.
Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate.
This is actually in Nashville.
Not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. Only.
As a matter of fact, I've been there. I've been at that business.
Decide our fate.
Ambrose Tacos, yeah. What?
Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. The church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. We decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the church, not the state. Only we decide our fate. Not the church.
Okay, I will give them this. At least they're not running up into people's faces demanding that they stand with them like Black Lives Matter did during the Summer of Love. I will give them that.
Gender Day of Visibility is extremely important for that community, and we need to celebrate it as well, because it is a victory.
You do not need to change anything about yourself to be welcome here. Your skin, your hair.
But I got a question. I'm seriously don't understand this. Why was the rainbow adopted by like the LGBT community and things like that? I might have hit a wrong button there. Hold on. Why was that done? And then everything else has to have their own flag. Like even pedophiles have their own flag now. I'm sorry. Minor attracted person. No, go fuck yourself. You're pedophiles. Like, what is this? I don't understand that shit. Like, oh, now I have to have a flag because I identify a certain. I don't understand.
Your belly, your limbs, your face, all beautiful, just the way you are.
Each and every one of us is worthy of celebration. Each and every one of us is a masterpiece, worthy of his love because of what Christ has done.
Wait a minute. Wait. I'm not even religious. But that was blasphemous as shit.
The way you are.
Each and every one of us is worthy of celebration. Each and every one of us is a masterpiece, worthy of his love because of what Christ has done.
I know that was edited. Really fucking edited. But if that was actually edited for the context of that reason, that is blasphemous as hell. You literally just said we are worthy of praise because of what Christ has done. Even the Bible says that there are only male and female. Even the Bible So that's the assault on Christianity that you're talking about for that reason? Because something that was written damn near 2,000 years ago and has been reinterpreted a multitude of times, doesn't agree with your ideology, that's your war on Christianity? Or doesn't even talk about your ideology in any way, shape, or form? That is your war on Christianity? Did I just make that connection? Or is this actually what it was really about? I'm not understanding here. I'm trying to understand this shit, but none of this makes any fucking sense.
Poppies, Maddies, and Babas. Men who have given birth, women whose children still call you daddy, queer parents of all genders, and none. There isn't a holiday set apart for us, but I see you. I see you next to your wife's hospital bed, snuggling your newborn, skin to skin, against your...
There's also not a holiday for men in general. The only one we actually have is Father's Day. And if you're not a father, well, you don't get that either. There was no holiday for men. I mean, there's Women's Day. There's Mother's Day. There's all types of things for mothers. There's all types of things for, I mean, Juneteenth, the, gay pride events, things like that. What is it, June? I think it's June for that. Yet there's not a damn thing for men. Unless you're a father, there's not a damn thing for men. But yet you're bitching and complaining because you don't have your own holiday? Welcome to the fucking club, you dumb son of a bitch.
Your top surgery scarred chest while the nurses try to avert their eyes and not ask questions. I see you chest feeding your baby while glaring at people wishing you happy Mother's Day. I see you who have lost custody because a court agreed that it was less confusing for you to disappear from their lives than for them to see you as who you really are.
Wait a minute, didn't Anna Kasparian herself from the Young Turks say, "Do not call me something like chest feeder, I am a woman," and everybody fucking got underwear for it? Well, I mean, you deserve it because Anna Kasparian is a crazy lunatic, insane bitch, but eventually she does get some things right, and you can see that there is with her, there is a real red pill happening, and she is fighting that shit hardcore. The fuck?
And I see you trying to survive, not fully transitioning so you can see your children. I see you radicalizing your PTA, taking down the... See you radicalizing your PTA. So you can see your children. I see you radicalizing your PTA. Taking down the Donuts with Dads Day. Confusing
What was I just saying?
Strangers by calling your infant they until they're old enough to declare their gender.
Visibility is everything. Visibility.
Children, I see you survive. For them, lost. See you. I to avert your top surgery. I see you next. Who sees and
masterpiece, worthy of his love because of what Christ has done.
Moppies, Maddies, and Babas. Men who have given birth, women whose children still call you daddy, queer parents of all genders, and none. There isn't a holiday set apart for us, but I see you. I see you next to your wife's hospital bed, snuggling your newborn, skin to skin, against your top surgery scarred chest, while the nurses try to avert their eyes and not ask questions. I see you chest feeding your baby while glaring at people wishing you happy Mother's Day. I see you who have lost custody because a court agreed that it was less confusing for you to disappear from their lives than...
I mean, this is heavily edited.
For them to see you as who you really are. And I see you trying to survive, not fully transitioning so you can see your children. I see you radicalizing your PTA. Taking down the Donuts with Dads Day. Confusing strangers by calling your infant they until they're old enough to declare their gender.
Visibility is everything. Visibility is tightly wound up with society, culture, and power. Those in privilege and with power have a...
Shut down Jeff Mack. Who is this? Who is Jeff Mack?
vested interest in keeping certain things invisible to maintain the current power structure. There was a time when you thought gay rights was just gay folks being able to get married, right? Me too. But it's the umbrella term for gender and sexual minorities, rights to housing, healthcare, safety, access to dignity. Trans people are
right to housing, healthcare, safety. But you would rather take all that from everybody else because you don't have the right that we don't have. Now, we don't have the right to housing. We don't have the right to health care. We don't have the right to safety. All that is on us. All that is on us as individuals to make sure we are happy, healthy, there is a roof over our head, food in our stomach, clothes on our back. That's all on us. But you would rather take that away and, give it to the government just because you feel some type of way? I mean, shit, Australia, a lot of Australian banks are now shutting down the ability to take out cash from their physical locations. If you need cash, you got to go to certain ATMs. They're moving themselves to a digital dollar, which, by the way, is coming here to the United States. Executive Order 14067. Look at the fuck up. Why the fuck do you think the banks are collapsing? Because if we still have faith in the dollar, you're not going to be able to switch the United States into a different form of currency. Okay.
Are often invisibilized, even in death, through lack of media coverage, and if there even is media coverage, through the misgendering and misnaming of a trans individual.
Misgendering and misnaming of a trans individual. Yeah. Yeah. The Nashville shooter, you are defending because that thing was misgendered. They ended 3 children's lives because they were misgendered. And somehow that's okay. Somehow that person gets defended. Oh, I am so fucking done with this.
Before we get started, I just wanted to say real quick, if you follow me on social media, then you know that I try to be a good ally and advocate for the transgender community. And today is Transgender Visibility Day. So I just wanted to send all of our trans friends, brothers, sisters, we just wanted to send you all some love, let you know that we see you, we're thinking about you. And I hope y'all
right here with you. Arm locked in. We right there with you.
Yep. Amen. So
100%.
It's really important to, if you support the trans community, to support all of us and not just a select few who look a certain way or sound a certain way, because our diversity is kind of...
Hold on. My face is swollen from surgery for the entire video, and this part was originally directed at a brand, but I still think the message is something many of us regular people need to be reminded of. Regular people? What do you mean by that? The fact that your face is swollen from surgery? Fuck, are you trying to look like Skeletor now? Because, I mean, you're looking at like a skull with skin already.
I personally think it's really important to, if you support the trans community, to support all of us and not just a select few who look a certain way or sound a certain way, because our diversity is kind of...
Oh, so you're supposed to support the pedophiles that are trying to get at children because the transgender movement is attacking children. You're supposed to support the people that run up into a school, ending the lives of 3 young kids that never had a chance to even discover who the fuck they are. They could have been part of you, but you ended them. And if we don't support that, we don't support you. You're damn right. I don't support you. I don't support running up at a school and ending 3 children's lives just because you were misgendered. You're goddamn right. I don't support that shit.
Kind of what makes us beautiful, and androgyny is beautiful. I mean, I'm not suggesting you hire me or anything, but once I'm fully recovered from plastic surgery and the swelling around here goes down, I'm going to be gorgeous. Just something to keep in mind.
No,
again, my email is on my website. Just press the contact button. I personally think it's...
You're going to be a disfigured, horrible, mangled version of what you used to be. And when you finally come out of this, because this is a social contagion, now everybody else is going to be a problem. Society did this to this person. That's going to be the claim. There's going to be absolutely no recourse. There's going to be no accountability, self-accountability for the fact that you were so goddamn retarded, you decided to go through with this. No, when you were mangled and disfigured and you look like a demon because you're trying to make yourself look like a demon, and I don't even believe it's going to be society's fault, because why didn't people tell me this was going to be a thing? Guaranteed. Give it about 5-10 years. It's already starting to happen. Give it about 5-10 years, and that's going to be the argument from people like this. That's going to be the CEO of every single hospital that allows this to happen, because it's about money for them. It's not about affirming your gender. No, it's about the money they make. But y'all are too goddamn stupid to see this. Trans genocide is not a fucking thing. By the way, what the fuck are you? What the fuck are you?
Experiences with Drag Story Hour. I have seen how immensely important it is to protect and support our transgender youth. I have seen so many beautiful and creative strolls struggle kids, and now my experiences with Drag Story Hour. I have seen how immensely important it is to protect and support our transgender youth. I have seen so many beautiful and creative strolls struggle kids, and now my experiences with Drag Story Hour. I have seen how...
That's a clip of something probably more dark.
I was going to buy some snacks, and a lady came down the aisle, and she was on the phone, on speakerphone, and her and her friend, or whoever it was, were talking about... she goes, you know, this country needs to stop celebrating these things. They're a disease, and they need to be eradicated. We need to get rid of them. And she was talking about...
Okay, on the possibility that it did happen, number one, you were targeting people who don't want to follow this ideology. You were trying to end their fucking lives, and you're crying like a little baby back bitch because people are saying, no, motherfucker, you're killing us. We're not killing you. You are killing us. You're crying like a baby back bitch because people are resisting this shit and ready to fight the fuck back. Shut the fuck up, you crying, whining little fucking cunt. Oh my God. You are literally pushing this. We are on the brink of civil fucking war. You're trying to say Trans Day of Vengeance. You ended 3 kids' lives that have absolutely nothing to fucking do with this. You have had more mass shooters than white people have had mass shooters this year alone. Yet, you're crying like a little bitch because people are tired of being targeted and have this shit forced down their fucking throats to make sure you feel good about yourself, demonizing the rest of society, which is literally 99% of the fucking population. You think I give a fuck about you or have any kind of concerns for your fucking feelings when you're crying and whining and complaining that somebody doesn't care about your pronouns, somebody misgenders you? While you're flinging your dick in little children's faces? I'm supposed to fucking feel sorry for you. I'm supposed to care about your feelings when you kill children, when you rape children, when you throw your fucking dick in a child's face. I'm supposed to give a fuck about your feelings.
Pleased to present Mikey Peace Theater.
You better get free! You better get free! You better get rid of these faggots, cause I'ma beat your ass! I'ma beat your ass, bitch! I'ma beat your ass! I'ma beat your ass! Yes!
You're from Colorado!
These hands do not discriminate! These hands do not discriminate! I'ma fuck you up!
You're from Colorado!
I will fuck you up, bitch!
You're from Colorado, right? Why are grown men threatening to beat up women?
Right?
Are you from Colorado?
That is a more real.
Seen that one. What is this? Demonstration continue across the United States on Trans Day of Visibility. No, you mean terroristic acts continue across the United States on Trans Day of Visibility. You retarded asshole. I will continue to call you a retarded asshole. I don't give a fuck about your pronouns or how you feel. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. You retarded piece of goddamn dog shit. This is in Indiana. Honestly, I have no problem with that as long as it stays that way. But clergy leaders march into Indiana State House singing this little was any kind of congressional hearing going on for that? Well, no, it's probably Saturday, so probably not. So, but yeah, in Kentucky, people were arrested for insurrection for running up in their state capitol. Though those people were released. Every single one of them that were, I think it was like 18, 19 people, they were released that same day. Now they do have charges, but they were still released. Yet people from January 6th are still in solitary confinement to this day for being let in to the Capitol.
Not become a woman. I was a dude wearing women's clothing. You know, it's gender dysphoria. And so that's the problem we have right now with all these people. And it's pure virtue signaling, and it's Munchausen by proxy, you know. So what we need to do is we need to really look at this, and we have to figure out the fact that gender dysphoria does not require surgery. Gender dysphoria does not require hormone blockers or pills of any kind. Gender dysphoria, all it requires is some understanding and a little bit of love. So, I mean, I would tell all the parents out there that all the data that these schools are using to push this agenda, and I'm going to call it agenda, I'm going to call it what it is. Just pure grooming. You know, it's pure grooming. Because if you're sitting there talking about sexual stuff to a kindergarten kid, they have no idea what you're talking about. And especially if it's a kindergartner and you have, you know, somebody showing up there in lingerie, a dude wearing lingerie, talking to a kid about sexuality, what do you think that's doing to that kid? A kindergartner? Are you kidding me? Now you got to consider me when I was growing up. You know, I never came out and I was never public about anything, you know, for a long time. And the reason was because it's very, you know, personal and it's sexual, and anything that's personal and sexual and very not mainstream, you know, a very minority population. So you're talking about maybe 2% of the population. And so the 98% of the population is sitting there watching this 2% of the population take over everything. They're taking over education. They're taking over every corporate, you know, corporations right now are totally bending over backwards to placate to this 2% of the population.
He's right. No matter what your situation, always smile. Happy Friday.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy.
Sorry, that is That is funny the way that was edited and done. All right. Here we see men invading a space that aren't allowed to be. A man who thinks he's a woman, then rugby tackles a 70-year-old lady before fracturing her skull with his bare fist. Well, that kid needs to be thrown in fucking jail. Yep. That kid. Number one, that's a bullshit ass punch. But that kid needs to be thrown in fucking jail. Not allowed out. Thrown in fucking jail, lock away the goddamn keys. If this is the way you want to play it, let's play it that way. I don't even know what that's fucking. But the person that don't laugh at Ricky Gervais is the same person that you're trying to sit here and placate to.
LGBT community has been out there when it comes to pride and everything. Sometimes I feel like some of them get lost in the mix, and the T was one of them that got lost in the mix. And a lot of people forgot that African American women, Latina women of color who are of the trans experience, they forget that we were the women who kind of cultivated the ballroom culture in order for a lot of drag queens to be drag queens and a lot of gay men to live out their, you know, their fantasy as far as being feminine and being comfortable in it. We were the women to cultivate that. Sylvia Rivera, Martha B. Johnson, the list goes on. And it's shows like this that gives you a glimpse into the founding mothers and how the founding fathers came along and how they.
So is this bitch literally trying to say that black people and Latina people were the ones that started this? They should be able to claim. Is that what she just said?
Even though the LGBT community has been out there when it comes to pride and everything, sometimes I feel like some of them get lost in the mix, and the T was one of them that got lost in the mix. And a lot of people forgot that African American women, Latina women of color who are of the trans experience, they forget that we were the women who kind of cultivated the ballroom culture in order for a lot of drag queens to be drag queens and a lot of gay men to live out their, you know, their fantasy as far as being feminine and being comfortable.
No, absolutely not. The whole LGB before T was ever involved, the whole LGB thing was every race, creed, color, and religion. So fucking sick and tired of stupid ass people.
Always had a passion to make the world a better place. I'm Rebecca. Ever since I was a kid, I always had a passion to make the world a better place. I'm Rebecca. I'm 14 years old. I am a nerd. I love school. I read a lot, and yeah, I just love to laugh.
Rebecca is a bright and sassy 14-year-old girl with a big heart and a love of life.
I've been playing field hockey for 4 years now. The concept is so fun because you get like to have a stick and you get to hit a ball with it. Then you would pass the ball to Devin. I also really love the people that I'm always surrounded with and the community that I create. Such a tight-knit group.
Rebecca's really good at a lot of things. She, aces her schoolwork with very little effort. She's great in music and theater. She doesn't have to try really hard. And so sports are this place where she does have to work hard. She learns a lot from not being the best and from really having to commit to get better at something.
When we're on the field, my teammates, they just see me as me. They see me as a teammate who they're going to play with, who they're going to win with, who they're going to lose with, and just someone who they're going to work with together.
She's just found a normal girl that a friend. And you're the most bubbly person.
Yeah,
too.
no, you are.
Whenever you need a laugh, you go to Rebecca.
Rebecca wouldn't play sports if she had to play on a boys' team because she's a girl. She belongs on the girls' team. To say, oh, you belong in every way throughout the day. We see you, you're a girl, this is your life, these are your friends. Oh, but not on the athletic field. It doesn't make any sense.
I would worry about my friends and the other kids in my school because I know what it's like to have my gender questions, to have to be, to prove I'm a girl. And I don't want them to have to go through that because it's violating and embarrassing.
When you don't understand something, it can be scary. And when we react out of fear, then we can do really harmful things. The only people who should be afraid of Rebecca are her little brothers, perhaps, because like any good big sister, she terrorizes them at times. My kid is just a kid. She wants to go to school, have fun with her friends, and play sports just like anybody else.
Sports are something that I really like doing. I'm so much more than trans. That doesn't make me less of a girl. It doesn't make me less of a human either.
So how long was this kid pushed into this ideology? That mother that was talking, how long have they been forcing that? And at 14 years old, okay, what happens when, people that follow their biology grow up and start feeling uncomfortable that a boy with a dick is in the changing room with biological women? How long until actually puberty really kicks in? And even if you are taking puberty blockers, shit really actually does start affecting you, and the density of your bones start to change. Your fast twitch motion in your muscles start to really develop, and your basic overall strength becomes more than these women. And you don't even have to break a sweat to beat said women. Can we come back down to reality? Nebraska State. That don't look like a lot of people, but they're still in that little clip. They're being peaceful, so that's cool.
We'll have cake.
Nana.
I go by Jim these days. Well, come in, Jim. We'll have cake.
Nana.
Bet you think this is hilarious.
This is fucking fascinating. That's your nan. Jesus. Coming, Nana. I'm coming for some cake.
Bit a priest finger off.
What?
We thought they were feral. The priest swore that he died of rabies.
He didn't, did he?
No, he died years later. He was... Oh!
What?
He was crushed by a tree.
Wow, dark humor over here.
Life is pain.
Yeah. It kind of is, though, isn't it?
Me gusta. ¿Es tu marido o están viviendo en pecado?
Él habla español, no.
Muy bien. Ay, muy bien.
You better priest.
And the rest of them, the ones that
The
are
fuck is
fixing
this?
my wall, huh? Hurry up!
You're just a bunch of idiots.
Figures. Who else would agree to get paid with oranges?
Only Pete.
fuck was that? I don't understand.
On chips. Yeah. Historically.
That's a myth.
Well, no, actually, science. Because women have crystals in their body, and the crystals attract demons, and the demons attract misfortune. You know, the French call it. Hey.
I'm only gonna see this once.
Once is fine.
Mm-hmm. So listen up.
Yeah.
I've been on this ship for weeks now, and we haven't crashed.
We were attacked by the Spanish.
But bendito. Look, everyone, I'm gonna keep this very simple. You all know me as Jim. See?
Yeah, good old Jim.
So just keep calling me Jim. Nothing's changed. Except I don't have the beard. My nose is different. And I can speak now. Yes. Anyone got a problem with that?
No, certainly not.
It makes sense. Always liked Jim.
Yeah, good guy, you know.
Yeah.
All I know is women are bad luck on chips. Yeah. Historically.
That's a myth.
Well, no, actually, science. Because women have crystals in their body, and the crystal.
I don't.
Freak just murdered 3 small children and adult Christians, and the Biden administration on the exact same week decides to take another dig at Christians and even say in a statement that on the Transgender Day of Visibility, that is a new holiday apparently, that these people are made in the image of God and deserving of dignity, respect, and support. So did the 3 children that were just slaughtered and the 3 adult Christians that were actually living in accordance with God's will, are they deserving of dignity, respect, and support? Because last time I checked, the only thing that I'm seeing is this transgender individual being propped up as a martyr by the trans community, and these people trying to act like they're ready for some kind of civil war. And for all the Christians who think it's loving to just sit there and be quiet about all this stuff, newsflash to you, none of this is going away. So you better wake up, because persecution of the church is coming, and it's coming quick. So a transgender freak just murdered.
Whatever with that. So furries are trying to interject into this shit. Y'all are doing too much. Y'all are doing too much. I don't understand what the fuck that's about.
Day of Visibility, and I want.
Yeah, we watched that one already. The fuck is happening?
So, today is Trans Visibility Day, so I wanted to make a short video introducing myself while I show you some of my latest artwork. I'm a Colombian artist, character designer, and more recently film director. I moved to Germany around 10 years ago, hoping to get a better chance at pursuing a career as an artist. For the last few years, I've been working as a character designer and visual development artist for companies like Disney and Warner Brothers and stuff like that. Although most recently I've been concentrating more on my personal projects, like directing my animated short film titled Epifania, or making more personal art like this. I'm actually having quite a lot of fun. I also have a YouTube channel where I teach about art and character design, and a Patreon where I host a monthly art challenge and give feedback on other people's artworks. I think that's all. Thank you all for your support.
Okay. Banner and support of trans visitors in Newbury Park, California.
Action when we hit $1 million for trans healthcare.
Sweet! Here we go!
Let's go!
We are not done yet. We made a promise to you that this was going to be a 30-hour live stream, and we got 24 hours left. So I want you to tell people that we are going for 2 million now. I hope we get press. I hope we get other creators. I hope we get a lot of attention on this because we deserve it. The trans community deserves hope and happiness right now. We deserve support, and we're doing it for one another. Over 25,000 people have donated to reach over $1 million, and we're not even done. So let's go.
Huh?
I'm on a date.
And I fucked it up for us.
I'm failing at this. Here you go, guys.
I don't think you need to use Amber Heard as a model for this shit. No, you don't.
Upon the eve of Trans Day of Visibility, I just want to wish every trans person joy and happiness. To take the time to remind yourself that you are deserving of love, support, appreciation, acceptance, and so much more. That you are powerful just for being out, for being your honest and authentic self in whatever way that looks and means to you. And that I know it's hard right now, but I have so much hope and faith in the future that we are building together, that our communities are building together, and we have a long way to go, but we will win this fight, and we will deliver on a better world for trans and gender diverse people, for all people. And that's what this is really all about. So happy Trans Day of Visibility. Love and care for yourself today, and love and care for yourself every day. And know that there are folks out there in community and allies who will always have your back.
Yeah, they're trying to play this shit up. Okay, hold on. We watched that one. Tampax refers to females in the league. Y'all comfortable with this, ladies? Are y'all comfortable with men running up in your spaces and taking everything from you? Because let's be honest, y'all did it. Y'all did it to yourselves. This third wave feminist bullshit has done it to themselves. Now the fourth wave feminists are going to be men because you allowed it to happen. Because they were somebody different. They wanted to be like you. Well, they are taking from you now. They're taking everything. Your sports, your accolades, your positions with high up within government, everything that you could do for yourself is now being taken by the same men that you said were trying to oppress you. Understand that. I want y'all to fully understand what just happened here. You know, straight white men are the most evil things. They're the most racist. They're the most sexist. Everybody hates straight white men. Okay, well, people who bought into that bullshit, those same straight white men are now claiming to be you and taking everything from you. And you praised it. You heralded it. You backed it. And now, those same ones that you tried to demonize are the same ones that are taking your shit. Meanwhile, straight white men like me, who never did anything to you, are still fighting for you. Yet we're still demonized. Straight white men like me are demonized because we stand for you. And y'all wonder why you have to do this shit yourself now. It's just like the whole, you remember the Roe versus Wade thing, the no uterus, no opinion situation? Yeah, y'all remember that? White men need to shut up because they don't have a say. They don't have a uterus, so they don't have a say. And then all of a sudden it was Roe versus Wade got overturned and it was, men help us. Men help us. You have to help us now. No, you told us to shut up and sit down. We have no uterus, so we have no opinion. The straight men are the problem because they're demonizing the trans community. Now women who are starting to see that men who identify as women are stealing everything from them. And now it's men help us. No. I will continue to call it out, but I am not going to stand with you because you demonized me for calling the shit out early. I will stand with the people that are fighting back against this. I will stand with the people who make fucking sense. I will stand with the people who aren't in your delusional fucking world. But if you ever demonized men at all, I will not stand with you. You wanted to make me out to be the problem, and now you need me to help you. Go fuck yourself. Let's see, what else can we get? Stand and deliver. Like, what is this? What is this tag? Oh, wrestling. Don't care, that's not a thing. What else is trending? April Fools. Let's see what April Fools bullshit has going on right now. Privilege is having a trans terrorist shoot little kids in a Christian school and then getting a new trans holiday created by the White House 4 days later. Yes. April Fool's Day is canceled this year. Yeah, we already had that one. Yeah.
배를 빌려서 파리를 여행 중입니다. 와, 역시. 플래시 고맙다. 진짜 그런 줄 알자. 그냥 마무리죠.
I don't even know what the fuck's happening there. Today was April Fool's Day tax hike. Before, $1.40 a liter. After, $1.49 a liter. Least deal to turbocharge Brexit Britain. Brexit is boosting the UK. What is?
You seriously never noticed? Hey,
I don't even know who the fuck that is, but whatever. Things we should never prank or joke about. Fake. Yeah, okay. Driving against traffic for April Fools. Darwinism needs to start taking effect into society. Families face 700-pound hit with a wave of tax and price rises. Yeah. Well, what'd you expect?
Coming up on the program, the Grand National at Aintree and the US Masters Golf. They're both next week.
Whatever. Babe, I'm pregnant and you're the father. Seriously, babe? It's a prank. Ha ha ha. April Fools. You mean you're not pregnant? I mean, you're not the father. Oh! Well, that's kind of fucking harsh. Excuse me, have you seen my testicles? Did you actually have them once upon a time? Okay, so Dogecoin is back on the rise again. Good luck with that. Y'all think it's going to be great with that? When they put us on a U.S. digital currency, if you do not play ball with the U.S. digital currency, you are a threat to U.S. interest. Therefore, they can deem it a foreign adversary within the Restrict Act, meaning they can stop any transaction, have control of transactions that deal with anything on the internet. So therefore, your cryptocurrencies are going to be fucking useless because you won't be able to cash out simply because those are now foreign adversary markets that the government deems a threat to U.S. interests. Hello? Now, just to hammer that home, you remember the Canadian truckers? They froze their bank accounts and everybody started sending them cryptocurrency. You remember what happened there? They took that cryptocurrency. They halted all cryptocurrency exchanges for anybody that was involved in that. Even though they're not supposed to have control over that, they took the ability to make any transactions or pull money away from the marketplace, the hub, market hub for that shit. They didn't control the flow of the cryptocurrency. They just controlled your access to it. Y'all think cryptocurrency is still a thing? It's not. When they cut off your access, and control the cryptocurrency as a whole. But when they cut off your access, they are still controlling your cryptocurrency. So when the Restrict Act becomes a thing, and now they have full control over any online transaction, if you do not play ball with the digital currency that is brought up in the Executive Order 14067, you are a threat to U.S. interests by not playing ball with Executive Order 14067, though. So therefore, you are a threat to U.S. interest for trying to trade in Bitcoin or Dogecoin or any other coin, Ethereum, shit like that. You are a threat to U.S. interest because you're not playing ball with them. What? My headset off? Nope. There's no sound there, is there? Fuck.
I may be a white boy, but I'm not stupid.
There you are.
Can y'all hear me? Yo. If you have a seat, take one. If you don't, come on up on stage with me. I'm getting so intimidated by being here. Now, I'm the only Irishman you ever met, though, that's never had a drink, so I'm okay. I look back on my career of 280 years here. Oh, wow, I didn't see you all up there. Holy mackerel, don't jump. Hey, man, don't jump. You look crazy enough to jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. And don't jump from up there, okay? A poor mother who lost 2 kids to fentanyl, that I killed her sons. Well, the interesting thing is that fentanyl they took came during the last administration. That's all right. We like babies. You don't have to worry about it. So it's okay. It's all right. All right. Matter of fact, I like babies better than people. No, you may be president one day. Here's the one commitment I want from you. And that is
like babies better than people. I mean, if you said adults, I'd agree with you. But babies are people.
when they say Joe Biden's out in the waiting room, you promise me you will not say Joe who. Okay, deal? No? All right.
All right, I'm done with that dumb shit. Ever prank audience, April Fools has a relaxing video for you to watch whatever you're watching everyone do April Fools and you don't know what to do on Twitter. Oh shit. All right, let's see. What else? Dansby Swanson. Who the fuck? Wait. Did they take away the Trans Day of Visibility trending thing? They fucking took it out of the. They took it out of the trending. They took it out of the trending. Oh god. Okay. Oh shit. Okay. But it's the same shit still. Again. Production company reports 74% drop in profit. No. No, 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 no. Anything to do with J.K. Rowling or her books and everything. 74% drop in profit. Does that have anything to do with the fact that her books and everything that was related to J.K. Rowling saw an influx because everybody was attacking her? And now that they've kind of switched targets away from her, people aren't buying her stuff anymore. So is that the 74% drop in profit you're trying to mark independent? Is the fact that people have already bought all her shit? Massive news. Tennessee's drag ban has been paused under a temporary restraining order. It represents an unconstitutional intrusion into Tennessee residents for First Amendment rights. No, it does not represent that. No, it does not represent an unconstitutional intrusion. You dumbass. It's saying don't put your fucking dick in a child's face. But y'all are too goddamn stupid to understand that. No, I take that back. You understand that. You're just too goddamn stupid to make it fucking known because you would rather shove your dick in a child's face and think you have the right to do so. Federal judge in Memphis, Tennessee has granted our motion for a temporary restraining order to stop the drag ban from taking effect tomorrow. You can read it in the link. How long is this? 15 fucking pages? Background, legal standard. TROs and extreme letters, quarters, grows. How the plaintiff burden carries, course TROs, the same. Okay. Analysis. After reviewing the parties' briefs and arguments, the court finds that the factors for issuance of a TRO against defendants plaintiff has carried its burden to proof of all four factors supporting the issuance of the TRO. The court will now address each of the following with the defendant's likelihood of success on the merits and standing. First Amendment issues. The court can think of at least 3 scenarios in which plaintiff is likely to succeed on these merits. So you have the First Amendment right to pull out your dick and balls and shove them in a child's face. You have the First Amendment right to expose your body to a minor. But yet you don't have the First Amendment right to say that the vaccine is killing people because that's medical misinformation. But you have the First Amendment right to sexually assault a child. That one's getting saved for later. Don't give a shit what all you crazy, stupid ass motherfuckers have got to say about this, because it's not hate to try to pull you back to reality. $600,000 for what? What is this? March 2nd, March 31st, participants are awarded 30 A-Link, which is worth $30 when sharing the... What? But on the latest says high-speed tech layers rollout, but I don't know what the fuck that is. Order granting temporary could be viewed as a person who is not an adult. Huh? Tennessee enacted a statute criminalizing the performance of adult cabaret entertainment in any location where the adult cabaret entertainment could be viewed by a person who is not an adult. Yes. Is that in this? Saving this one too. We'll look more into that. Okay. I think we've already hit enough of this. Almost 3 o'clock. I got to get me something to eat. Start getting everything ready and brush up on what we are bringing tonight over at the Off Label Podcast. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I will drop this as well for you guys. Me and Freely Ashley do a weekly show Saturday nights. I'm going to drop the link for it there. That's the YouTube version. However, we are also on Rumble as we do Rumble exclusives. So we can actually talk a lot easier. I still got to make that, but off label. We're going to make that up for that, but we are also here as well. Like I said, we have Rumble exclusives for that. Tonight we're going to get into, on Rumble only, we are going to get into Nashville. Because, well, YouTube likes to play funny games and strike down shit for anything that was coming from Nashville. So we will be doing our Nashville talk on Rumble. I will tell you this, the whole show we have lined up. Well, we are definitely talking about the Restrict Act. We're talking about Trump's indictment. There has been 60 Minutes, I think it is. 60 Minutes is now pushing tomorrow. A little video comes out from 60 Minutes about, well, it's just about babies, not babies, babies. We will be talking about that. And yeah, our Rumble exclusive will be talking about Nashville. So go ahead and those two links right there, go ahead and hit them up. We will be going live there. 4, 5, 6, 7, about 4.5 hours. I gotta get me, what is this?
I'm gonna go get my lenses out, but trapped, pretty emotional. I'm gonna go get my lenses out, but this is my last time in my trailer in New Orleans.
What the fuck was that? Hold on.
Thank you.
What is happening? What is this? Was this like for a movie or something? I am so confused. Season 1. Okay, it's a show. I am so fucking confused right now.
Nugent. I'm a lesbian and I'm a trans man.
So a straight white man.
But my most important role is that of a parent to 3 incredible children. I'm a mother, a woman who has given birth and carried life. I'm here today to put an end to the idea that medically transitioning children is about human rights. It is not. It's about money. Market research predicts that gender-affirming care will generate more than $5 billion a year in less than a decade. The truth is that medical transition is experimental, dangerous, and it doesn't cure anything. In fact, your question, there's only 7 studies that stated that medically transitioning children is beneficial, and every single one of them has either been modified with not enough time or participants, or, oops, we were sorry. Yet these are the pamphlets and the studies that are still given to parents currently. And of course, society doesn't know that because you don't cover it.
Yep.
We now have children's hospitals all over Europe halting and banning all childhood medical transition, calling it the worst medical scandal in modern history. Yet here in the United States, we have bigots everywhere. We have transgender people. We have gays and lesbians trying to talk. And people that are not trans and not gay and lesbian are calling us bigots. I underwent close to $1 million worth of surgeries and hormone therapies to change from Kelly to Scott, a trans man. And then I almost died in the process. And I certainly have cut many, many years off of my life. In fact, I probably won't live long enough to meet my grandkids because I still, to this day, get recurring infections. Nobody knows why. But again, 95% of all medical transition is experimental, except for top surgery. We have no idea what's going to happen to these kids because it's never been studied. But we are seeing early onset osteoporosis. We are seeing hearts and lungs the size of 12-year-olds. And if you couple that with the only long-term study that followed these transgender people for 30 years in Sweden, Sweden is the leading country for transgender medicine. 2 months ago, they halted and stopped all medicalization of children. Do you know why? Well, there's a documentary that you won't find here in the United States, but they're finding something in addition. Girls' spines are not fusing together properly while on puberty blockers. We have 15-year-olds walking like this for the rest of their lives, and they won't live past 30. But you say he's a bigot. You see, I tried to kill off my female self because I was sold a lie. I was sold that I was actually a man trapped in a woman's body, that my masculine traits and my strong personality were proof that I was really a man. I was told that all my pain and self-loathing would magically disappear if only I pumped my body with testosterone, removed my breasts, and altered my genitalia. I was tricked at 42 at a vulnerable place. One day I thought, God, maybe I'm born in the wrong body. I was married to a woman who just despised being a lesbian. And one comment of maybe I was born in the wrong body. Next week, I was sitting in front of a trans woman therapist who asked me, how long have you been dressing like a man? At 42, that sentence has changed the trajectory of my life. You guys don't seem to understand that I'm not going to meet my grandkids because of this crap. And you call him a bigot. You see, I was perfect just the way I was. If only I was told, and we tell girls, because it's happening to girls way more than boys, is that there is no one way for a woman to be a woman. And there's no one way for a man to be a man. Why don't we start affirming that it's okay to be who they are? No, what we're doing is we're pushing a medical process that if a child gets on it at 14 and lives to 85, that generates $1.5 million in synthetic hormone. Did you guys get that? That doesn't even cover complications. It doesn't cover surgery. And yet you call him a bigot. And you don't talk to me. You show all of the people, trans women are real women. We need to let children have the time to learn to love their natural bodies and embrace their differences. Because the truth is that the kids that are wanting to medically transition are the most vulnerable parts of our society. They are the ones that are same-sex attracted. This bigot, he's trying to protect gays and lesbians, future gays and lesbians, but you call him a bigot. They are children that are mentally gifted. They are children that have ADHD. They are children that are mentally ill. They are all the kids that don't belong. You're robbing that time that they need to gain a thick skin. Because at 25, being different, how many sane people have done anything major in this world? They're all different people. But you don't realize that until you're a CEO at 25. You're stealing that from them. With gender interventions, there are no takebacks. Puberty blockers are not merely a pause button. In fact, the corporation that's telling you puberty blockers are safe, that generates and produces all that puberty blockers that they say is a pause, it doesn't hurt. In 2003, they were sued by the US government, deemed a criminal enterprise for false advertising and bribery. They paid $874 million like that. The biggest payout at the time, more than OxyContin at the time. This is a company that doesn't have the money to run studies on puberty blockers for children? Or is it that they know there is no doctor in the world that would sign on it that it's safe? Shame on you for not covering him and me.
Fucking well said.
In fact, Lupron has over 10,000 complaints from children that use them as precocious puberty. Testosterone, it's not reversible. Her son, 4 months on estrogen, and he might not be able to have babies at 14 because you won't cover it and you call him a bigot. I asked this question. Are you really going to put stock in the AAP that follows WPATH, which is supposedly the baseline for care? An entity that not only accepts, pushes the idea that UNIPS is a gender for minors. An agency that is supposed to be the baseline for care has never held up in any court of law anywhere. Yet you won't cover it and you call him a bigot. So I ask that you do the hard thing today. I know this is your industry, and God forbid if you step outside of your house, your family, your Republican, Democrat, conservative, Republican, and do the right thing. But if you do, I'll tell you one thing. You will be called a bigot today. But those bigots in history will go down as heroes. So are you in the media that can save these kids? Are you going to do the right thing and cover and investigate and ask questions and interview everybody? Or are you just going to sit there and record?
I'm saving that. Well fucking said, sir. Well fucking said. Okay, let's see. Made a new turf toy. That is a bat wrapped in the trans colors, held by a man who's insinuating he's going to beat women with a bat. Y'all get it? Well said, Sydney. Well fucking said. If today is the Trans Day of Visibility, what the hell am I endlessly hearing about the other 364 days? I wish I could fucking like that, but it just goes away because my account is not allowed on Twitter. All right. God damn it. Fuck. All right. Oh, by the way, let me bring this up on the side too. If it doesn't go to Rumble. For the Rumble, that is the YouTube for Off Label. We will be going live 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in about 4 hours. I gotta start getting everything lined up and getting all the stories and links and everything ready. I've got to eat. I've got shit to do. There's a lot of work that goes into things like this. Y'all don't even understand until you start doing it yourselves. But yeah, go ahead and join us over there. It is the Off Label Podcast on YouTube and Rumble. Me and Freely Ashley will be discussing a few good things today. So make sure you hit up those links, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, for our Rumble people as well, there is the Rumble link to the page, and we will see y'all over there very shortly. But I got a lot to do, so I'm going to end this. A lot of really, really, really crazy shit has happened. Some have gotten violent, and we will probably see and hear of more happening later on as the sun starts going down and people start getting even more insane. But I'll keep following this as we go along and doing our thing here. And yeah, we will see y'all in about 4 hours over on the Off Label channel. As a matter of fact, of course, the first story will be on the Voice of the People YouTube, which will eventually transfer to Rumble because we can only have one Rumble stream going on. Still in the process of getting that fixed. It will be on Freely Ashley's channel. It will be on Off Label for all YouTube. It's going to be on the Voice of the People Twitch. It's going to be on the Off Label YouTube and Rumble. And after that first story, we're cutting everything but Off Label again. So yeah, make sure you hit up the Off Label YouTube or the Rumble, whichever one you guys want to hit up. We will be back here in about 4 hours. And let's really get into this shit. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. And remember this, you have a voice. It is important. Please sit down. Let's talk. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, take it easy.